Tomato.
Yes, you chew you up for brunch and finish you off for
Killer Tomato. We were only saved.
They're marching down the halls. They're crawling up the walls. They're gooey, gushy, squishy, mushy, rotten to the core. They're standing outside your door. Remember Herbert Barbage while taking out his garbage.
Boss, it ain't no killer
He
tomato.
turned around
Ain't
and he
got no
did see
teeth.
tomatoes hiding in his tree. Now he's just a memory.
Get rid of that. And when you make fuzzy tomato, that lousy little furball ain't gonna stop.
Tomato is my sister. Sacramento fell today. They're marching into San Jose. Tomatoes are on their way.
Raging Tomato.
The Raging Tomato.
Raging Tomato.
The Raging Tomato.
Raging tomato.
Oh, Raging Tomato.
Raging Tomato. The Raging Tomato.
Raging Tomato.
And myself, the Raging Tomato. Well, hello, everybody. It's I'm happy to see you all back. Welcome. I'm Sarah, the Raging Tomato. I just realized I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing in that tail end of the video, but it is my favorite one. It's comfy, cozy. So I know you all have your favorite sweater that you like to wear. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Who do we have so far? Yahooligan. Don Juan, Crackalackin' as always. We've got David Donnelly over from the vinyl community stopping by as always. Michael Matroke, I don't think is that? I'm guessing that's Purple Pill's side. Oh, I see. Does this feed in? Does it like dually feed or something? I'm going to have to ask Sergio when I bring him on, but Neo Starling, of course, my favorite, but also my mom's favorite. Speaking of mom, I know she's probably listening. Hi, mom, my biggest #1 fan. Everybody in the chat say hello. I want to, tonight we're going to talk about the debate that happened that everybody's talking about between Andrew Wilson, Alex from Playing with Fire, and of course, yours truly, Ashley XOXO. She is dual streaming right now over on her channel talking about it as well. So if you're not over here, you better be over there. Tomato paste. Everybody say hi, tomato paste. That's my mama. She's so funny. I will say that Torsia, Nixon, and Tom Foolery, they all did some pretty good chatters about the debate. They had really good takes on it for the most part. So if you want to go check out their portions of it and what they spoke about, I would highly recommend it. Nixon did just a short little brief one, but Torsia definitely went in on it on the logistics of the debate, and it was a really good take. So highly recommend you all do that. I just want to say this has been a long 2 weeks for me. I have been so tired. I haven't slept. I know LFA was just talking about not sleeping over on his show. And it's been a rough one, trying to make sure that I'm here for you guys and everything's going on and I'm keeping up. Oh, pumping vinyl, saying hi to mama. But it's just been a rough one. I'll tell you what, like if anybody tells you that live streaming or YouTube streaming or any type of streaming is easy, they're fucking lying to you. This has been the hardest job I've ever had. I consider it a part-time job. I'm committed to not only doing the show, but I'm committed to you, the chatters who show up to watch. Every week when I'm planning, I always think of you. I keep you in mind, and I always want to make sure that it's here to be entertaining for you. So as always, I always prepare videos for you guys, fun little things to watch so that I'm not just sitting here talking on a stream. So if you didn't watch the long ass 4-hour debate, I've summed it up in 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. Then I'm going to give a brief little talking point about that. And then shortly after, I'll bring Sergio on here. All right, so enjoy this little video that I spent many hours making for you. Hopefully it's good. Tonight, we're going to be debating about whether the red pill content creators are doing more harm than good with their ideologies.
Many red pill content creators advocate for behavior
and an ideology that is directly and inherently considered by most to be counterproductive in promoting healthy dynamics between the sexes.
There's this idea that red pillars like Fresh and Fit just want to help men. In reality, red pillars are typically capitalizing on male loneliness and sadness to get clout and make as much money as possible.
The red pill is a series of descriptors that do not promote actors, just data about nature and trends.
If the red pill is changing men's lives and it is drastically changing some for the better and drastically changing some for the worse, there's always been disposable men in nature.
I thought that this was a debate on the red pill, but whatever. I'm happy to engage with whatever you want.
This is not a debate about the red pill itself, specifically about red pill content creators, and are they doing more harm than good?
If a proponent, even if it's the largest proponent of said ideology, happens to be doing bad things with the ideology, that does not make the ideology bad, nor the descriptions in the ideology bad. That doesn't even follow.
So if someone is being a hypocrite and doing something that's against their teachings, while I do think that weakens the message, doesn't immediately invalidate their message, although I do think it weakens it. Who do you think came up with the red pill?
That's irrelevant.
It's totally relevant. You're saying that, I'm not here to talk about content creators, I'm just here to talk about the red pill. And you're basically making it seem like those two things are completely separate.
They are separate.
How are you gonna separate the person that came up with information from the actual whole community?
Oh, I see. Great argument. That's like saying this. What a genius fucking argument this is from Alex.
I don't think that you should be taking advice on interpersonal or intersexual relationships on somebody who essentially is spreading a very toxic, bad message. But
what if he was a hypocrite and was still telling the truth? Aren't both of those things still possible?
Yep. Yeah, they don't. They're not.
Then this point, like I said earlier, the whole thing's fucking irrelevant, dipshit. What's the argument here that I'm supposed to be contending with?
That red pill in and of itself and the red pill content creators, the message that they're spreading is directly resulting in the decline of the very things that a lot of people who say they support it, like the trad-con lifestyle, or talking about the nuclear family, or talking about masculinity and femininity, that it's the Ouroboros, it's the never-ending circle of causing a problem and then saying you have to...
Can you just give me a specific argument?
So how about promoting guys to get their body count up, right?
Yeah, you should do that. That's awful. What makes that the red pill? What makes it the red pill?
That's just a prescription, Ashley.
That's not the red pill. That's just some guy who said some shit on the internet. Yeah. How about instead of doing that, you start with telling us what the fuck you think the red pill is and why it's harmful? How about we start with that? About a bunch of creators. What is the red pill itself?
This is the red pill itself.
It's just creators? It's creators on the fucking internet? Let me try this one more time. I'm going to speak super slow so that all you fucking cards can understand what I'm saying. Super slow. You have a positive position. You think X thing is bad. So tell me what X thing is and why it's fucking bad.
Red pill is a series of descriptors, not prescriptors. What are these descriptors?
Well, if we're going to have a debate, then you can demonstrate they're harmful, and I'd have to concede, right? You make it a positive claim, make the fucking claim, and we'll have a debate.
What would make something applicable to the red pill itself, not the content creator, in your mind, Benjamin?
What I think of the red pill or any red pill descriptors are totally irrelevant to the claim of whether or not you think the red pill and however you define it is harmful to this society. It's on you to make those claims and prove them to me. I don't need to know anything about it for you to have to be still the one with the burden to prove it to me that it's harmful and then describe for me what it is. Then we can check your fucking claims. It's not hard.
So if you're saying that the red pill is not harmful, right, don't you think it's important for me to understand what you think the red pill beliefs are?
But I don't understand how something can be harmful if it's just descriptions of something. It's not. Well, it's not saying to do something bad.
No, not when the burden of proof lies on you. It's not my. Listen, it's not for me. It's not for me to give you your position so that you can argue against me your own position. That's insanity. Just give us your fucking position and give us what it is that you're trying to say is harmful, and then we can actually have a fucking debate.
So my position is that the red pill is more harmful.
What is the red pill?
I've already outlined this. I'll do it one more time. The red pill is a series of beliefs and philosophies.
That's
to understand that.
your delineation to make, not mine.
Make an argument. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's debate. Make argument for debate.
Okay. So if you didn't get the drift here, it was an absolute shit show. I've never seen a crazier circus, and I was running that circus, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a moment to say that I definitely fucked that one up as a moderator. And I'll say straight off the bat, I didn't recognize what Andrew was doing in the moment and what he was saying in the moment. And I think had I think I would have kind of pinpointed it down and elaborated it to Alex and Ashley, kind of the deal there and what was going on. Um, but but at the end of the day, as the mod, I let it become a shit show. So I like, especially when I watched it back, like it kind of like broke my heart that I wasn't kind of putting my foot down on it a little bit more. And I will say, I do think Andrew took an advantage of that because he knows what he's doing. He could have done this better, as a formal debater, somebody who knows what he's doing, who does this all the time. And I think he slightly took an advantage of the fact that I didn't know what I was doing, and that was definitely not the first debate I would ever want to mod ever again in my life. I actually debated one on the Gray Pill podcast. Go over and check him out. We went on last night, and moderating that was so much easier. It was so much kinder and sweeter and less shit to deal with. And it was simple and the perfect debate I would want to start with. Speaking to that nature, chat, let me know if this would interest you. I'm thinking about doing a Tomato Mondays. Monday nights, I would basically start the live stream kickoff and let people come in, do an open panel and debate the shit out of each other, roast each other, do whatever they want, and go from there. If that's something that interests you or you'd want to see, let me know. I kind of want to take it back from the chat and see what they would want to do. But it would basically be open to anybody. If you got beef or you are arguing with somebody in the chat on something, whatever the case may be, I'd open the panel up, you come on, you argue, and I just mod. And that would be perfect modding practice for me. Anyways, back to the actual debate. Um, I think I will say Ashley did ask several other people before she asked Andrew. Andrew was kind of the last resort, in terms of bringing him on to debate. She looked all around. I remember her messaging me. I remember her messaging in group chats, asking for people. So like, I'll give her that. That was something that she worked really hard to gather for people, including herself and a mod. Um, in order to get a debate together, and that's a lot of work in itself. Just like I was saying earlier, streaming is not easy. It's no simple thing. I do think the prompt should have been a little more titled properly. I think that could have just been as easy as adding in, content creators into the title of the prompt, because it does kind of skew the vision there. Uh, but what essentially Andrew was doing in this debate was he was recognizing there was a handicap in the debate. Basically, Ashley and Alex didn't get it, not by meaning they didn't understand the topic, but what I mean is they didn't understand the technicalities behind how they were debating. So basically, they were failing to acknowledge that the claim was not that content creators are bad or red pill is bad. The claim would have been something more along the lines of marriage rates in society are decreasing, declining, and men are just not getting married. Why? Because of red pill content creators pushing this narrative XYZ. And I think that was my understanding. And I think had Andrew knew there was a handicap there and he was calling it out, but the way he was calling it out was in an asshole way. He recognized it. He knew that they could have used a little prompting or to be said differently to help get them through, but he kind of failed to do that. And at the end of the day, he should have just said, well, if they're not going to give me this, then I should step away from this debate because it's not technically correct. Um, And then I do ask the question, would Andrew have done this if they were bigger creators? Would he have acted in that behavior? So I don't hate Andrew. I'm not mad at him. I think he was doing what Andrew does, and that's we all have our personas, we all have our characters, and he was playing his character. This is who he is, and this is how he acts and responds to people. But I think you can't come back and claim technicalities and claim this if the whole time you weren't allowing it to, happen in that nature. So anyways, those are just kind of like my little thoughts on this. I want to go ahead and bring Sergio on. Sergio, if you give me a thumbs up in the back just to let me know you're ready. Yep. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play his little intro, and then we're going to have him on. We're going to talk about the debate, and then I'll bring Alex on. I think he should be popping in here shortly, and we'll kind of go over the drama that ensued afterwards. So here we go.
Do it just because she's asking for it. So it's based off of me. Like, you'd be a great husband to if you had multiple wives, you'd be a great man to all of them. If I'm going to give you like a number based on how you would treat like your spouse,
does my number multiply with each wife I have?
What did he do wrong? That's why I'm super confused.
No, so
I do that?
You think that
you
is
choosing
great?
yourself. Hold on. You choosing yourself every time is why you will never be successful. You have to have a fucking partner, or you'll never be anything. Hey, get the fuck out of here then.
Okay,
get the fuck out.
I told you.
I like how you would have found one of those clips.
And it was just like pure luck that I just went kind of sorting through your regular videos, not your live, so I could kind of get through it quickly. And like I was like, oh my God, this is gold. I love this.
I need to go make a montage of all the kickouts. We probably had like 7 or 8.
Really? There were more than that? I didn't take you for a kick out kind of guy.
Well, I never really wanted to, but when bitches be acting out, man, like they'll try to take control of your whole fucking show and like make you look stupid. Like you gotta kick them off. Like it's one of those things where they just make like I'll get like my very first episode. I had a girl on who basically controlled my whole show at the end of it and was like, all right, we're just going to leave. You need to end this. And I was like, well, okay. And it was just everybody roasted me and was like, you can't let her control you like that. You can't fucking like let her end your show. And I was like, and ever since then, it's like, I don't care if I'm kicking every bitch off the panel. Like, I'll kick y'all out. I'll do the show by myself. Like, fuck you. Like, so you got to have that mentality or else you just look like a bitch. I mean, that's just how it is.
No, I agree with that. And I think that if anybody were to come on here, now I haven't had to do it before. I have had to, moderate the troll accounts in the commentary section. But as far as like, so far I'm grateful that I've had wonderful people on. And it's like I haven't had to do a whole lot of work in terms of keeping them at bay. But I'm not afraid to push that button either. So. And it's not in person, so it's just the click of a button. I don't have to strong arm anybody or yell at people.
It's definitely just in person. Like, it's definitely just an in-person thing. Like, and we would drink alcohol too. Like, I had a full mini bar in there, so
oh shit,
people be acting stupid when and like my girl even bartending like would make sure the girls wouldn't drink too much and shit, but they would bring their own bottles or they would come already drunk because they're alcoholics.
Oh
like,
shit.
Like one time a girl tried to fight my girlfriend. It was crazy. Like she was like, "You gonna fight for him?" Because I was like bitching at her, and it was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my God!
Get the fuck out of
No
here!
way! No, to me that's just unacceptable behavior. Like I don't think I've ever disrespected a host of any channel, and I know it's just virtual for me with them, but I, my number one rule is always respect the host, no matter what. I mean, you can still disagree on stuff, but you should always do it respectfully because you want them to have you back. And you should, you should want to present yourself in that way. Getting goofy, getting drunk and being silly is one thing, but like being an asshole to a host, like you're just dicking yourself over for any other potential, or unless they're people who specifically want that crazy content, then they're going to seek you out. But
well, you know how it is. Like they're like you're a woman, so there's like there's some women out here that are like alpha females, and they're just like, I don't want no guy thinking they're the shit. So it's like they'll kind of like be crazy. Like they want to be crazy on these. That you want clout. You want to go viral. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to go viral for that. That's for damn sure. That's Ashley's department. She's really good at that. She's good at getting cantankerous on screen and putting people like, kind of in their place, and the rage quits and the temperamentalness and all of those things. That's her department, but me, I'm just like, I'm gonna be a little mouse. I'll have a conversation every once in a while. I'll drink and I'll get stupid, but I won't be an asshole, or at least not to the host. At the very least, I'll
It's
argue
just
with others.
all like fake wrestling at the end of the day sometimes.
It
So like
is.
I'm always ready for it to get crazy because I mean that's just how it is. Man, tell Master Yoda to fuck off, call me a PUA. I hate when he calls me a PUA.
Aw,
He's just mad
aw.
that somebody can get girls without having to chase bitches, man. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I maybe you'll read about mate choice copying one day. You don't have to learn it from me. Just go Google it, bro.
Are the simp troopers coming in from LFA's show? Is that what's going on? Are they on their way? Usually LFA will end not long after I start, and then his group usually comes over here. So they always do the little parachutes because they're simp troopers being sent. Um, so Sergio, I kind of want to get your thoughts on the debate because I don't know. Have you talked to anybody else yet, or?
I barely talked to Ashley. I've been talking to Alex because we're gonna try to plan to do like another debate soon on some another topic. Uh, I talked to Andrew a little bit. He was giving me some tips.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, yeah, I kind of stay out of drama. I'm gonna be real. I keep the drama for the screen, like
Mm-hmm.
drama for the entertainment. Like if y'all want drama, I'm gonna make sure it's on camera and everybody's like, and it's like a good little fake wrestling match for y'all. Like I'm a good WWF fighter. Okay, I'm an up
Right.
and comer, but that like offline shit or anything, I really don't give a fuck like at all. Like it's like.
Well, all of this stuff went down online, though. That's the kicker.
But like I also don't keep up with like remember you had to send me the video about even
Mhm.
you made as a response. Like I don't keep up with anything. Like I'm doing this little phase where like I just make content and I just work. Like that's all. Like I make my content, I work. I don't look at my notifications. Like I reply to people, but like I don't really pay attention to shit, especially on
Mhm.
people's channels. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm going through a phase also where like I don't want to like copy other content creators. I want to be super authentic in myself. So I'm
Mhm.
trying not to watch a bunch of other content creators because you'll take stuff from them.
Yeah.
So like so because I'm doing all that, yeah, I'm out of the fucking loop. Anytime there's something big going on, I'm like that guy that has no idea what the fuck is going
You
on.
just show up to the party like, "What?"
Yeah, like oh shit, they broke up. Like I didn't even know that. Like fuck.
Well, I mean, and I will say for my type of content, like that is my business to get into the business. Especially with my news from the manosphere when I make those videos, like I always pull information from that prior week because I want it to be as far updated as I possibly can when I do those shows.
You're like
So
a
I've kind
reaction
of
streamer, you would say.
not with I mean, well, with this series now, yes. But with the news from the Manosphere, it was I don't know if you've watched any, but it's basically like have you ever watched Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
So, did you ever watch the Weekend Update? How it's like tongue in cheek newscasting?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
So but
that's
it's
what
like
I
that but for the
do. On the Manosphere, it's very like I just make fun of everybody and it's very satire, parody style-ish and so I take things out of context on purpose.
yeah, whenever
And
like Rolo says something stupid or something.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
do you like make fun of fucking what's his name a bunch? The guy that's really easy to make fun of, the guy who got married this year and it was like really
Yes.
awkward.
Yeah, I
What's his
covered
fucking
that one. It was
dude? That
perfect
was
timing
so
too.
fucking weird, man. See, I don't like the red pillars either sometimes because they just are dorks, man. Like geeks, like
Mhm.
super geeks. Like
I
it's weird.
Here's what I'll say. I love everybody for what they do and why and it's I get to make fun of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't prescribe to I'm probably actually more red pilled than most women with some of the stuff that they say, but I'm not like I'm not I just have a couple toes in and that's about it. But that's the closest I go. But as far as like I watch everybody and I enjoy watching them for what they do and bringing their content in and being entertainment. I can appreciate entertainment for what it is.
And like as far as teachers go, or as far as like who you think is even the best entertainer, if you can separate those two, like who do you actually like? Because I mean, obviously you have to watch a lot even to get your parody stuff. Like, are you able to kind of discern who you like the most when you do that?
LFA is actually my favorite. It's
Who's
chill.
LFA?
Oh, who is They're all dropping in right now. The
I
Simp
feel like
Troopers coming in from
I know
LFA.
Red Pillars well, but I don't know who LFA is.
He's not. He doesn't prescribe to really any pill. He's kind of gone through a lot of different ones. Like he
So
has
he's
some
more like a
retail
PUA dating coach.
No, not even that. He's just a guy who I think he started off with fitness content and then kind of dropped in with the life and dating information. But it's a chill, relaxing stream over there. He'll open the panel up. We all get on. We have a few little conversations. I think you would really like going over to his channel. I think we should set that up for you to kind of drop in and maybe be a guest on his stream, because I think, he's he's just so simple, but so much information. He gives such sound advice, and he's very specific to allow room for preference and personal lifestyle. So guys will call in, they'll have dating questions or life questions, fitness questions, whatever. And the advice that he gives them is just very sound and sweet. And it's not like a one size fits all concept. It's, well, tell me more about this situation. And he'll run through some general things. So, but he's going to be my future husband and I'm going to have all his babies. And because he happens to be super hot too. So,
That's funny.
but definitely check him out sometime. And if you go, check out some of his videos or his streams, I'll send you the link. And if you want to ever entertain it, then I'll definitely set it up. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I do want your actual thoughts on the actual debate outside of the drama portion behind it. How do you think, actually, let me ask you this. Did you understand the material when you were coming in, like the question, the prompt?
So yeah, like I went, like somebody just asked me like today, like to go review my messages from Ashley. I literally, that was the first time I went and actually reviewed my messages to see what she sent me. Like, and yeah, she did say red pill content creators, but I'm not lying when I say I'm an autistic retard. And when I went into that debate, I literally just read the title. Like, I didn't have another browser pulled up. Like, I just got my home set up here at my house, and like I have a 2 computer set up. I was looking at just my streaming computer, like I'm doing right now. Like, I'm not that. I don't know. Like, I kind of don't think
You
as
just
high
came
IQ
in
as.
to like basically you didn't even prep for it and you just showed up.
I want to prove to people that if I own you without doing any prep or any outside work, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that's the whole point of like how I do it, how I do it. Like that's how good I am. And then I'm gonna
Fair
flex
enough.
on you that I'm an idiot and I still fucking beat you. So like, yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, and but the bottom line is though, I have to be honest, they still kind of lost because they couldn't define red pill. Like, the problem is that I can define red pill better than them, even if Andrew can't, because Andrew knows nothing about red pill. If they're gonna keep trying to define it, you saw multiple times. I was like, no, that's not the red pill though. No, that's not the. I had to correct them multiple times. So if they can, if I have to keep defining it for them, it's gonna be a bad time, you know? And that's exactly what happened. Like, either we were saying like we shouldn't be having to define it for you because
Your claim to make.
yeah, it's your claim to make, or I'm gonna make it for you and I'm gonna make you look stupid because I'm gonna keep going back to the same shit that the red pill creator says it is. Like, I've watched those, and I told them I've watched those debates 100 times. Like, I've been on the other side of the debate. I've been the one debating them, saying the same shit as them. So like, I know exactly how it works.
How would you define the red pill then?
I still define it as like the ontological nature of of human beings. So it's
Like
just.
that evolutionary psychology that you were talking
Yeah,
about before?
yeah.
Okay.
Ontology is just like the natural I think it's just understanding the natural way or things, or the study of how things are naturally done or something. So yeah, I would say that's all it is. It's really that simple. Whenever we try to conflate it to all these other things, it's just like cope, honestly. Like trying to be like, well, this creator said it's this, or like some guy says this. Man, it's about what Rolo says it is, and like I can go up to a lot. Like I know a bunch of people here in Dallas that are red pillars. Like if I start talking to a bunch of them, they would all say because it's very simple. What is the red pill in the Matrix? You take the red pill and you see the truth, like you see the truth of reality. So it's just what they call the truth, and like a lot of us know things about women, but who Googles, like whenever you're just like a regular simp dude, like that's 22 years old in relationships, like who Googles like, are all women whores or something, like nobody's sitting there Googling like what's the average body count of a woman, like unless you're like kind of insecure, you kind of don't do that naturally. Like I don't remember doing that in my first couple of relationships, ever giving a fuck about that shit. So it's like, to me, they just really take advantage of those type of guys. Like there are a lot of guys that are doing that now, and they're just taking advantage of those type of guys. But that's not what red pill really is. It's so much deeper than that. It's all the other information. It's all Rolo's fucking fault because everybody goes back to his book for everything. But even like basically, if I debated Rolo right now, if I debated anybody in the manosphere, or in the red pill space, I would destroy them because I would beat them over the head with their own stick. Like I'd be like, hey bro, like what's red pill? And they'd be like, it's the truth. And be like, okay, good boy. And I'd be like, okay, so what else? What is it? And they're like, well, it's women are hypergamous. And it's like, okay, what else? And it's just like, I'm gonna try to dig out of them. Like, do you know what mate choice copying is? If they don't know what mate choice copying is, it's like, what? You don't even know about the red pill. Like you don't even fucking know about it, you idiot. Like they're like they like think they know what the red pill is, but they only know a half of it. Like I keep saying, like they just have half of the red pill up there. It's just a black pill, and it's a suppository black pill, and it's only halfway up their asshole. They don't even have it all the way up their butt. So it's just like I really think that these guys, they just need to be led like towards the light. Like they're just kind of stupid. I can use their own fucking ideas against them. It's just a matter of me debating some good red pill guys to like prove it. I've already proved it to all of them on Twitter. Like they all blocked me because they realized that they can't beat me in a debate on Twitter.
So what I guess because Andrew was kind of my cog in it, but like you didn't really have too much to say unless you were prompted in the debate to begin with. And I think
And
it
even
really
then, I
can.
was just feeding into their bullshit though. Like I was just trying to like let them hit me honestly, so everybody could see a boxing match. Like to be honest, like I could have said the same thing as Andrew, or just had fun with them like he was.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So if you could do it all over again, how would you have changed that debate to make it at least a more technically good debate?
I've thought about this a lot, and I've talked to a few people about it, and it's just like they really needed to like define it themselves like really well. Like, and and the thing, this is the problem. It was a chess match, okay? They were going to define it how I wanted them to define it, like how The Godfather says it is, how everybody defines it. And once they were going to define it as that, it was going to be okay. Then that's not the creators. Like it's just very simple. It's just like it's like the easiest analogy to make is the whole Christianity thing. It's like, are all Christians bad because Protestants are bad? It's just like, or because Catholics are bad, does that mean all Christians are bad? It's the same as that. So they were kind of walking themselves into a path that they weren't going to be able to win on, in my opinion.
If they had changed the claim and made the claim like, men are not getting married, like there's a huge decline in marriage rates for men. Men are choosing not to get married, and tied it back to its, red pill talking points. Could they have done it that direction instead?
If they had data showing the trends, and then also showing correlation to the rise of the red pill with Google Trends or whatever the fuck, then maybe they could have like proved that point. But even then, like it could have still got shut down. Like I don't see that as being like, I don't see that data as being like empirical. I feel like I don't know how, if I would have figured out how to beat it, but I feel like Andrew would have figured out some way to beat them over the head with that, because I just don't think that would even fucking work either. Dude, when I'm learning about these debates, I've been talking to people about topics and stuff. It's really, you got to be so good on just the topic title and like what words you're using, if you're using good or bad, because that's like moral shit. Like it's these fucking this shit is deep. Like this whole logic and fucking like shit is stupid. Like everybody's a bunch of fucking actually. I'm an 80 IQ nerd, man. I don't know what this shit is. Like,
well, as you said, you're autistic, so it all
yeah,
works out. Well, let's go ahead and bring Alex on, and we'll kind of run through these little pieces, and then we'll get into the drama portion of it later, shortly after that. All right, let's go ahead and bring Alex up.
Yeah,
I need an intro. I need an intro video for you, Alex.
Tum. It's just photos. It's just video of me playing with Rhaegar and just like dum.
Oh my god, that would be perfect. Like mid debate, you're playing with a dog.
I caught about like 5 minutes. I was backstage for like 5 minutes. So I just want to like quickly address a few things. So first of all, the debate prompt was: Are red pill content creators do more harm than good? And Andrew just straight up lied about that. But afterwards, Ashley sent me the screenshot where literally she told him what the debate prompt was, and he seemed to be totally okay with it. So that's the one thing. Second of all, this is just a talking point I keep hearing, which blows my mind. It's like, oh, but they need to define the red pill. I defined the red pill like at least 5 times during that debate, and I don't understand why like people just keep saying you didn't find it. I did multiple times. Like I can define it 10 more times. But this is like a weird talking point that just like I heard Andrew say, or like people who are on his side say. Like I defined it over and over again, and it was just like, oh, you didn't define it, bro.
I just kept saying that it wasn't the right definition. Like that's all I kept saying. And like I'll be honest, like I think Andrew was kind of like making you like kind of derailing you or something every time. But for me, every time you said something, I was definitely like, no, that's not the red pill. Like this is what it is. Because I definitely repeated over and over again like what the red pill was.
Well, so you have your definition of the red pill, right? What is?
It's not even mine. It's the Godfather's definition of the red pill.
So Rollo's definition of the red pill.
Yeah, and everybody in his circle, and Michael Sartain, and everybody that is like around it. Yeah, even Myron. Even Myron would say that's what it is. Right. And he's probably the biggest influencer in the red pill. And that's what Pearl would say too.
Yeah, so the way you guys define it is it's a series of descriptors about human nature, right? That's kind of the definition that I think Rollo and all those guys would give. The problem with that definition is that, first of all, it completely does not allow for prescriptions, even though a huge part of the red pill content is to give prescriptions. It only narrows it down to descriptors. So then by that logic, then every single time Fresh and Fit, Pearl, or any one of these red pillars give one of their million fucking prescriptions or advice, then that's not red pill anymore. That would be the first thing. The second thing is that the things that they consider to be descriptors are not set in stone. They're up for dispute. Like some of their descriptors are just off if you look at science and studies. And also, like, would we say someone like Destiny is red pill? Probably not. But he also believes the stuff he says is a series of descriptors about nature. Every single person believes that they're giving descriptions about reality. That's really what it means. I am telling you what reality is, a series of descriptors if we just dumb it down. Every single person, unless they're like a chronic liar, believes that that's what their message is about. Black pillars believe that they're just telling the truth. Red pillars believe they're just telling the truth. Blue pillars, Destiny, everyone does, right? But I think there's a series of beliefs that become associated with the red pill. And, I kind of gave some of those examples, like hypergamy, for example, would be a big one, big tenet of the red pill. The whole idea that women becoming more promiscuous, that marriage in the West is skewed against men, stuff like that. So really, if we just say it's just a series of descriptors about nature, but we don't expand on any of these descriptors, we can't really have an intellectually genuine, engaging conversation. And we're just literally circle jerking because every single person feels like they're telling the truth. But like someone like a hardcore black pillar or Destiny, they would not be red pillars, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, not at all. I call them black pill.
Right, but then, well, not Destiny, but yeah,
not Destiny, but the black pillars, yeah.
But they also believe that they're just telling you the truth about how life works.
Yeah,
do you see the issue with that definition?
The difference is that Destiny is going to tell you stuff based off of his life experiences. He'll not even tell you that himself. That a lot of what he talks about and what he preaches is based off of what he's gone through in his own life.
So Destiny actually does quite often cite studies and resources for what he believes.
He does, but he also goes with his feelings. He got married to fucking what's her name?
So again, Donovan Trump also got married to a girl who was like fucking than him and had a child. Like quite often, even red pillars go with their feelings. So just because someone's a hypocrite doesn't mean that they don't believe they what they're saying is not descriptions about what they think reality is. But yeah, black
Yeah,
pillars
some
have.
people have better description, and sometimes you're the exception to the rule. Like you could be the guy who gets married and has the greatest marriage in the world, like the greatest fucking wife ever. Like you might be the complete exception where you never will get divorced, and everybody's crying about divorce and shit.
Yeah, but I think really for us to have like a discussion about this is we need to explain what these descriptors are. And the problem with that debate is Andrew just absolutely 1000% refused to engage in that. And it was really obvious what he was doing because if he if he gives me a descriptor, right, and then I can be like, hey, here's the reason why this is not real. Let me show you the study, right? But if he just avoids giving me a descriptor, and then I give him a descriptor, he can do, oh, well, that's not actually a descriptor. That's just something someone said. And he can just do that with every single possible red pill tenant I give him. And that is just pure obstructionism. And then by that logic, we just wind up not having a debate because he can just dismiss everything as something content creator says. And when I press him over and over again, what are these red pill descriptors? Because his definition was the same as yours. He just refused to engage, like just completely just would not answer the question, would say things like, I don't care, it doesn't matter. And yeah, so that was the problem with that debate. It's just like, we can't talk about, like, we can't have a complex, nuanced discussion about whether these red pill descriptors are harmful or good if we don't even know what they are. And if we can't agree on a single one, and every time I give a red pill descriptor, which is associated with the red pill, it's dismissed as something a content creator says. And then when I re-ask Andrew, okay, well, fine. If you think this is something content creator says, then what would be a red pill descriptor that you think is actually like a tenet of the tenet of the red pill? And he just doesn't answer the question. It's just a form of dodging and avoiding
Let me ask
talking.
you this, Alex. Knowing what you know now, and kind of like the reaction to it during the debate, and how Andrew was pinning it back to you to make a claim. Um, how would you go about it differently going forward if you were to have that same debate over again?
So honestly, I've kind of thought about this. What I would do is I would just stop engaging with Andrew after 30 minutes of obstructionism and just talk to Sergio. And I would be like, I would probably be even more like of a dickhead. I would be like, all right, Andrew, I'll talk to you once you answer the question. Not ready to answer the question? Okay, I'm going to go back to talking to Sergio because it was just, he just refused to engage. And I think largely that's because he doesn't really know much about the red pill. And he also didn't want to be caught in a logical contradiction. Because then if he gives me a red pill descriptor, I could go like, wait, but doesn't that go against your worldview? Because I could give an internal critique. Well, like you're talking, one of the red pill descriptors is that, marriage in the West is skewed against men, but don't you believe that men in the West should get married? So like, but it's just a form of avoiding having a debate about something that I don't think he really knows much about.
Oh,
Um,
here. So
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 what I would have done is I would have just after 30 minutes of that nonsense, just ignored him and just talked to Sergio.
Well, so but it's a boxing match. So like the way these debates work, like let's be real here. Like everything is like a boxing match. Like when you get a question off, it's like getting a jab off. And he wasn't letting y'all get any hits in. He was dancing around the ring like Floyd Mayweather, like a fucking S tier fucking boxer. Like he's very good at his job and he knows what he's doing. And then also that whenever you debate, you don't actually need to know anything about a subject. You can beat somebody over their own head with their own fucking words and their own thoughts and what they think about something. He doesn't even need to know about the fucking red pill to fucking destroy you in a debate if he really wanted to. And so he wasn't dodging because he didn't know anything about the red pill. He doesn't need to know about it, honestly. And then also like from the
Well,
very
he
beginning,
absolutely.
well,
Hold on, let him
whenever
finish
you
that
first
thought.
got here, I was doing notes. Whenever you first started talking, you said like you can't give like these descriptions, and then Myron can't be given like these ridiculous like prescriptions and separate those two things. No, two things can be true at the same time. You can use red pill descriptors and then have horrible prescriptions, because the prescriptions are going to be based off of somebody's life experiences. Myron's gone through all types of crazy shit, whatever, for him to get to the point where he wants to do what he does with women. And I lived my life where I had lots of women around me, and that's why I know about mate choice copying so much, and that's why I preach that, because of my life and what I lived through. So our life experiences, give us different prescriptions to give out. And I use evolutionary psychology just like how they use evolutionary psychology, but I would say my prescriptions are better. And but we're not, like, we're all giving, like, whenever I give prescriptions, I'm not giving red pill prescriptions. I'm giving Sergio's prescriptions, and I'm using red pill's descriptions to help me analyze what is the best prescription in my opinion.
Yeah, so let me just respond to two things you said. So first of all, prescriptions generally follow from descriptions, right? They're not like entirely separated most of the time. So for example, if your description of the dating marketplace in the West is that women are these becoming more and more promiscuous, they're all these massive sluts, because of hypergamy, they're going to be very tempted to trade up, and marriage is really rigged against men, then the logical prescription is avoid getting married, right? So prescriptions generally follow from descriptions, and descriptions, a lot of these red pill descriptions aren't actually true. Some of them are, a lot of them aren't, right? And I can show that with studies and science. That's the first thing. In terms of the thing you said earlier about it being a boxing match, no, that's not what happened. When you're in a debate, you're supposed to engage in good faith. So if I ask you a question, you're supposed to answer that question in good faith. If you just refuse to answer questions, we're not having like an actual debate. You're just being purely obstructionist. So if you like ask me a question and then I just say I don't feel like answering that, or I don't want to answer that, then no, we're not actually having like a debate. You're just being a dipshit at
Well,
that
back
point.
to what you kept saying, y'all still never defined like your claim. And when you did, I beat you over the head with your own stick and proved that you didn't know what the red pill was. Like,
Can
I
I
know it
clarify
better
for a
than you, just
second?
like how I know it better than all the red pillars too. I will keep repeating what Rolo says over and over and over again until people realize I know it better than y'all.
No, I
Just to
mean, you seem to
clarify,
have a.
gentlemen, I did not bring you on to debate again. So I know this is all nice and we're being nice, but I want to keep it nice. Just so I'll let you keep going. I just want to make sure we're not throwing punches.
Oh no, I like Sergio. He was actually engaging in relatively good faith during that debate. Yeah, we can have this debate. This could be because we were coordinating doing a debate anyway, so we could this could be like part of the discussion we're gonna have. I don't want to like hijack Sarah's stream, but
No, it's good. As long as everybody's good doing it, and I will allow it. I let the flow, but I just want to make sure I didn't bring you here to fight. Like I wanted to bring you guys here to talk, and that's what you're doing. But I wanted to make sure we
I
stay there.
think me and Alex are super good about, like, we understand how the game
Okay,
works. I don't think that we're
good
gonna
deal
like
then.
hate each
like
other.
Sergio, like you were someone who was actually engaging in relatively good faith. You were answering questions. You were like following along to what I was saying. How can you not admit that what Andrew was doing was insanely bad faith and obstructionist when he literally refused to answer the vast majority of questions? He would say, my definition is a series of descriptions about nature. What are these descriptors? I don't feel like telling you. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Question's boring. Like, how's that in any way could be considered good debate adequate?
Well, because from what I've learned, so I've barely been learning about debate. Okay, I've just barely been scratching the surface and been talking to new people on Twitter to like learn more about this stuff. But from what I'm learning, like, that was all by the book that he did, like perfectly by the book.
It
Like,
really
and I'm
wasn't.
not gonna sit here and act like I'm like a 140 IQ debate bro. Like, I'm fucking a retard. But whenever, from my research and what I've seen, that was like the truth. Like, y'all were supposed to be able to define your point. You couldn't define your point,
Wait,
and that's
where,
what the
where,
debate kept getting fucked up on, was that
where,
part alone.
where does this narrative keep coming from? I defined what the red pill was multiple times. Like, I don't know why.
But I kept pushing back that that wasn't what it was.
What do you? Okay, we can redo that little mini portion of the debate. But just because you disagree with my definition of the red pill doesn't mean that I didn't define it. I could disagree with your
But
definition.
that's the first thing that we have to do in a debate, is we have to come to terms with what's the definition of
Right,
whatever
right.
we're
And the
talking
problem
about.
is that Andrew refused to do that.
You could say that maybe he danced around like the ring, like Mayweather, and did that, but I did engage, and even with my engagement, I don't think that y'all could have done anything about it because of even my engagement too.
Yes, you. Well, I've already said that you did engage relatively in good faith. That's why I'm separate. That's why I'm saying if I was redoing the debate, I would just like focus on talking to you because you were like we were actually like making some progress. With Andrew, we spent an hour and I made no progress because he was just purely obstructionist. And no, that's not your analogy isn't correct. It's like dancing around the ring in Mayweather. That's like fucking. I don't know. That's like showing up to the rink with 5 bodyguards and hiding behind them and being like, "Punch me, bro! Punch me, bro!" It's not. It's not. It's not part of good debate etiquette. It's not good faith in any way. Um, yeah, that was the most obstructionist I've ever seen, Andrew.
I also
Uh,
don't think these live shows are ever like 100% like real debates, man. Like sometimes it is a show, like sometimes there it is a little bit of a show. Like it's I
sure,
don't
and
know.
I
Like,
just
do we want to sit here and think it's gonna be all perfect and like nice? Like
no, but
I already got
no,
my ass kicked by the dude. I learned my lesson. Like
no,
I
but
will say that his entertainment, like he always brings the entertainment, and I love that about Andrew. And I would expect nothing less from him. You know, if he's not getting the answer that he needs to have on the technicality, then he's going to make sure, like I said earlier, like it was a handicap. There was a handicap in the debate. He saw it, but he wasn't going to say it. He was just going to dance around it and make fun of it and call you all sorts of names. But I think had he just said what he was looking for, we could have all actually moved on with the conversation and had a great debate. But where would the entertainment be in that?
yeah, I mean, sure, if that's like fun, I guess. I mean, this is the most bad faith obstructionist I've ever seen Andrew. I've debated him dozens and dozens of times. I've moderated a bunch of debates. I've never seen him this bad. Sometimes when he gets pressed on point, then he does this shit, but I've never seen him do it like pretty much right off the bat, which again leads me to think that it was a topic he wasn't really, didn't know much about, wasn't prepared to discuss. I mean, there's a reason why his own I mean, again, I'm not going to say this person's name, but someone very, very close to Andrew, probably one of the closest people to him, besides his wife, called me and was like, dude, what the fuck was Andrew doing? Like, there's a reason that, like, that person was like, dude, I've never seen him do this shit before. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just don't consider like I like debates. Sure, it can get heated, it can be funny, we can make jokes at each other, but we're actually like engaged with what the other person's saying. Versus like an example of this is like you and I discussing the Israel Gaza war, and you're like, well, Alex, there's been a lot of children murdered, and like you're an anti-Semite. You're like, no, no, I'm not an anti-Semite, but like the whole thing with the war is that there's blah blah blah, 90% civilian. Yeah, that's because you're an anti-Semite. Like I'm just not engaging in what you're saying, and you're like, well, Alex, what do you think would be a better outcome to what Israel's doing? I don't feel like answering that question. It doesn't matter. Like it's just like when you're not engaging and you're just being purposely obstructionist. It's just I don't know. It just becomes really like lame at that point, in my opinion.
I mean, all I'm gonna say is, bro. Like I said, I've been talking to a lot of people about debate lately. I've been learning a lot about this stuff. I know questions are a dangerous thing. The best thing you can do in debate is not answer questions. Sometimes, like there is
Wait,
strategy to this shit,
what you're
and like
saying is
he
so
was just kind of
false.
playing strategy, man. Like
What you're saying is so yes, that's something that you can do that'll be bad faith, which is not answer questions, but you should absolutely answer questions in a debate if you want to have an honest intellectual debate. Dodging questions is not good faith debate behavior. I don't know. Yeah, sure. If you want to like fucking just be purely bad faith like Andrew, then sure you could dodge questions, not answer them. But that's not something that is again considered good debate etiquette.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not good enough at I haven't read enough books on all this shit to really like put myself as somebody that's smart about it or anything. So I really kind of put my hands up and I'm just like, yep, dude, like dude's good at what he does. Fuck, I don't know what to say.
He is well, okay, I'll put it this way. He knows his way around a debate and the technicalities behind it, right? And so
More than most of us.
more than the average person who steps into a YouTube debate. I will say that especially. Now, maybe if he went up against like on a formal debate, something more like Ben Shapiro style, maybe it might be different. But in terms of like YouTube and going up against other content creators and having like our entertainment factor added in, I think that he does immensely well. But I think that because of that, like I think the cockiness that comes with it, I think if, as friends, like Alex and Ashley are both Andrew's friends. And I
So
think
smart.
in that or were maybe, you know. But I love you all. This is terrible. I hate seeing this, but I think he should have just kind of thrown out the handicap on that one and took it down to a more respectful level.
All he
You
needed
know,
to do was answer like some of my questions. That's all I was asking for was him to answer questions, not like fucking dodge and weave.
But like he also said in his video, like if y'all are good friends, like it kind of felt like a setup for him to say something mean about a bunch of people that he's trying to collab with,
So
man. And like,
so
and like,
that's
I
just an
totally
outright.
understand that. Like, that's the game. Like, that's YouTube, bro. I burned every bridge in the fucking red pill, and I regret it.
But hang
I
on, that's just
regret it. Like, I could have been collabing with all those motherfuckers, but I burned every fucking bridge, every one of them. And this motherfucker, he gets to go fucking still like do those collabs and
but
stuff.
hang
He has
on.
opportunity to debate them on a big stage and possibly make Red Pill look really fucking stupid, which is what I want to do too. He's lucky as fuck. Like he literally found a way to go make them look stupid, possibly on their own platform in the future, maybe. He's playing chess, bro, and we're all looking at shit like from Checker's point of view.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree.
When Andrew says that the whole thing was a setup, that's just an outright lie. It's just a lie. It was not a setup at all. That he agreed to the debate prompt, but we were never going to talk shit about the content creators. I understand he has a relationship with Pearly. We weren't going to talk shit. We were going to discuss their ideas. We never personally attacked any of the content creators during that debate, neither me or Ashley. Nor were we going to. So that's just either delusion or a lie on his part. There's literally zero evidence of that.
I mean,
that was
y'all
never,
did kind of bring up those content creators a lot, and like I said, he's about to be doing all this shit right now. Like we're talking like weeks before these things might be happening. So it's like,
well,
it's just like I wouldn't have done that to him. Just like how like I'm not gonna like I have a good relationship with Andrew right now, so I'm going to be a good friend to him because he's extended an arm out to me. Something that he didn't have to do at all, especially after, bro. I've been trolling him for months on Twitter. Months I've been trolling him and Rachel, and I've been going out like all out against him. And he did not have to extend an arm and be nice to me. So just like that, I'm gonna be nice to him. He's doing the same thing with them. Like he doesn't fully agree with the red pill guys, but it's a beneficial thing. He's playing chess. He's being smart. And I don't think that it's just like being mad at you for making money. It's like, bro, I'm not gonna shame you for selling your courses or doing anything that you do to make money. Like that's great. Same how like what he's doing. His strategy is to make it further.
ridiculous. Okay, this is just a ridiculous narrative that I think we need to put to rest. This idea that like we're mad at him because he's collabing with content creators, or the goal was to like get him to say something. We were just the debate prompt was, and I showed a screenshot of this during my reaction stream. Was are red pill content creators doing more harm than good? That's the debate prompt that was agreed upon. So because that's a debate prompt, in the opening statement, I said, hey, let's focus on two content creators, ones that he's publicly defended. Again, the point was never to personally attack them or anything even along the lines of that. It was talk about their ideas, because that was the debate prompt that was agreed upon, which Andrew then lied about in the early stages of the debate. So I think that's a very important distinction there. And second of all, yeah, if he wants to like fucking suck off the content creators, that's fine. That's his prerogative. I don't have an issue with that. Like the whole, like he also kind of hinted at like, oh, you know, these guys can't imagine being friends with someone they disagree with. I'm friends with Michael Sartain. He's Rollo's business partner. I hate Rollo, love Michael. So I'm totally okay with my friends being friends with people I don't like. I could care less. None of that was ever a factor there. That was just a conspiracy theory that he came up with to try to justify, I guess, his actions. I don't really know why he did, but yeah, I mean, look, if he wants to debate Rollo or whatever, I mean, he has debated Rollo. It was pretty much like a fucking cuddle fest where they just jerked each other off. But that's his prerogative. He can be like as aggressive or as non-aggressive as he wants. I mean, yeah, he's playing like kind of like footsie with them because he wants to kind of like utilize that. I don't think he's actually ever going to seriously push back against them because he's been on whatever podcast many times. He's debated Rollo, and he's never really given any kind of pushback to Red Pill ideals. He's defending them publicly on Twitter. But again, none of that has anything to do with anything. That's his prerogative. I don't care. But I just don't appreciate that lie being told, which is that, oh, these guys were trying to set me up. That's just a blatant lie.
I'm not saying that it's a setup. I'm not saying that at all. But I will say that, like, if I'm playing devil's advocate, if my goal was to debate Andrew, and I see that he's doing all this work and he's doing really good and he's trying to go collab with these people, I mean, honestly, I would try to get him to slip up in a debate by trying to ask him something that I knew would be hard for him to answer in like a good way. And you got to understand, he's a smart guy. So like, say like you did catch him in that little point and you're about to make him slip up on that. He's so good at what he does. He can change his tier from a B tier fucking debater up to an S tier in fucking 2 seconds if he decides to. He was able to own you just based off of the sentence alone, just one sentence. And like that's how debate works. If he wants to do that, he could do it like YouTube and go back and forth and like and not even the debate over semantics. But like that's not even a real debate if we want to talk. And that's what he said. Like I totally understand that. Like I said, I've reviewed this with a bunch of other big debaters, like people who like are way smarter than fucking me because I'm an idiot, and they all said like, yeah, Andrew was right. So like, I'm still asking for more advice. I'm still trying to get more people to hit me up that are like respected, good people at this shit. Because yeah, I would love to get more opinions on it.
And I'm gonna back this up by saying, and again, like I always maintain neutrality, so I'm gonna say it two different things here. Number one, Andrew was correct on the technicality of the debate. That's where he was. I will give him that. He was right.
Absolutely
But I
not.
will also say his behavior and the way he treated everybody during that debate was wrong. It was very wrong. And I will also say not understanding the prompt and agreeing to come in and do it. I know for a fact Ashley asked so many other people, and she was just looking for somebody else to partner up with Sergio, but nobody like that. She wasn't like in tune with enough red pill people to get that. So Ashley was asking him specifically if he knew anybody who was red pill or who would take that red pill side. So I'm gonna 110% give Ashley credit there. There was no manipulative tactics behind that. And if Andrew wanted to say no or give her somebody else's name or a contact, like he had every option to do so, but instead I will say he misunderstood the prompt. And that happens.
That's being very, very generous. I would say he just
I'm being generous to everybody as well as I can. Alex, I think you came in with a good fight and you were ready to go. And the tolerance level that you had to handle the behavior and the way you were being treated and the dissing and of just the Andrew kind of like beating around the bush and not just giving you the exact like, this is the technicality I'm talking about. Here's what you need to do instead if you
no,
want
not
to.
not the technicality. Just answer the
But what
question.
I'm saying is, well, he didn't. In hindsight, if you look back at it with the technicalities behind it, he didn't necessarily have to. But
Okay,
what
what
I
is the
will
technical? Okay, if he says definition of red pill, a series of descriptors about nature, I ask him, what are these descriptors? What is the technicality for why he doesn't have to
the
answer that?
technicality is the debate style. So the debate style, and he kept kind of gearing you in that direction, but you weren't. I think you were too flustered and irritated, and I don't blame you. Like watching it was kind of hard. Like going back and watching it again, like I could tell, like you were at your wits' end. And so, but what he was saying was, you have to make the claim, and then I will rebuttal. I don't have to answer questions. I need you to make the claim. And that's the technicality he was speaking to. So and what that comes down to is if somebody's taking a positive side, then the other person's essentially taking the negative side. But when you're challenging a debate, you make the claim, you make the harm, you state it, and then they rebuttal, right? And this is just like what I would compare it to would be like a prosecutor, prosecuting for a crime. Like the defense is not going to come in and say, hey, they want to prosecute us, and they think that we're being that we committed a crime. They're going to, they think that I, killed somebody or did this or did that. And that's, and that's it. Whereas the prosecutor has to come in and present the case. They have to come in and say, you committed this crime. Here's the evidence to back it up, XYZ. And then the defense will come in and rebuttal that.
Yeah, so
But no criminal is going to go to court willingly and say, hey, judge, by the way, just if you want to get a prosecutor to come at me, I, committed a crime and I'm ready to talk about it. Like they're not. That's not how it works.
Let me explain why that analogy doesn't work. So in that situation, when you're the prosecutor, the burden of proof is 100% on the state, right? They have to make the case. That would be true if Andrew was taking a neutral or agnostic position. If his position was, I don't know. His position was not, I don't know. It wasn't a neutral position. His position was no. The burden of proof at that point is equal between both parties. We both have to bring some burden of proof, right? So, for example, if I do a stream where I say, well, no, actually, I don't think Andrew Tate is guilty at all of anything. I think he's totally innocent. Okay, well, there's some level of burden of proof that's on me on this point. If I take an agnostic position, then that's different. But he didn't. He was arguing the no side. We were arguing the yes side. So the burden of proof is equal. So we both have to bring some proof to the table. But the problem is, again, when I would bring proof, which is like making arguments, he would just dismiss it as something a Red Pill content creator said. So by that standard that he set up, there's just no way I can make an argument which he doesn't dismiss. That's the first thing. The second thing is in terms of what Sergio said about like if you were playing devil's advocate. Well, yeah, but I've had Michael Sartain on my channel a million times, and I've never gotten him. I've never tried to trap him into something with Rolo. I just avoid that topic. So if that was the case, I would have done already with Michael and Rolo. So yeah, that's just like blatantly false. That I was like, my goal was to like try to. But there's even a chance I was trying to like trap him or whatever. That I give a shit about any of that stuff. Why would it?
Well, and that's the form of formal debate, right? That's not YouTube debate. So I think that Andrew was trying to utilize the technicalities of a formal debate against you, whereas it's like these are YouTube debates and we can't take them all that seriously, right? Like I think he should have entertained answering the question. I think he should have entertained the conversation and not like beat around the bush so much. But that's what he was utilizing and he had the right to use it. I think it's just he was applying formal debate techniques to a YouTube debate. You know what I mean?
This would
Where
never
we're
fly
all
in a this would never fly in a formal debate either because there's burden of proof on him because he's taking a negative position. There's only you can avoid the burden of proof thing if you take a neutral or agnostic position, which he was not doing. He was arguing the other side, so we have equal burden of proof at that point. That's the thing, and so this would not fly in a formal debate at all.
well, if you're taking the other side, ideally, you don't have to present the arguments up front. You just have to be able to battle them. So if there's a talking point that you didn't pick, for instance, like if you I don't know, wanted to like you have A, B, and C talking points, but then he brings up D, E, and F. He didn't even have to bring up D, E, and F. All he has to do is fight your A, B, and C, right? So he doesn't have to give you anything additional. He just has to be able to rebuttal to your A, B,
Sarah,
and C.
only if he's taking a neutral or agnostic position, not if he's taking a no position. That's not true. That would only be true if he was taking a neutral or agnostic position, which he was not. He was taking no position. He does have to at that point provide some evidence. Well, I know it's not harmful, right? What is the evidence for that? Well, actually, it's doing a lot of good in the world because of blah blah blah. Or this study shows that red pills affect blah blah blah, right? So no, that would only apply if he was taking a neutral or agnostic position in formal debate or any kind of debate. In terms of also, just to add one more thing to it, in a debate, it's pretty well accepted that people will ask clarifying questions. Clarifying questions are always respected and answered in debate. So clarifying question is exactly what I was doing. We said red pills are serious descriptors of human nature. Okay, what are these descriptors? That's a clarifying question. You are supposed to answer clarifying questions. A formal debate, neutral, non-formal debate, any type of debate, which he didn't do. So I don't know where people keep getting this idea from. It's relying on a false assumption, which is that he was arguing he was taking a neutral position, which he wasn't. He was arguing the no side, not the neutral side.
No, he was arguing the neutral side.
The debate, it was literally the way the debate was set up. Are red pill content creators doing more harm than good? And Ashley said, you're going to be arguing the no side. He's like, yeah, no side is good. So he agreed to argue the no side, not the neutral side. It may seem like a subtle difference, but there's actually a big difference between whether you are arguing, you're just agnostic, you're arguing neutral side, or you're arguing no side. If I'm being really charitable, I'll just say maybe it was a misunderstanding, but Ashley clearly outlined our red pill content creators good. We're arguing yes. You're arguing no. Are you okay with that? Yes.
I mean, to start that off, there was a huge misunderstanding with the prompt to begin with, so it was probably it was a shit show regardless. Whether he was negative or neutral, it doesn't matter
So,
at this
like,
point.
I would say because he didn't say. So here's the thing. Andrew's smart about this. He didn't say anything in the messages. Andrew was neutral, and because he never said, "Okay, I'm for this" or "I'm for that." He just said, "Yeah, I'll do the debate on that. What side am I on?" And she said what side he was on. He never said that that's what he believes. Just like how whenever Ashley brought with me, I even said,
Well, you
I
could
said, I said I'm going to play
something.
devil's advocate. But normally, I was like, I might disagree with my teammate because I didn't know who she was going to get as my teammate, and she was like, that's fine because she knows I'm kind of red pill, but I also make fun of red pillers all the time. So, like, I would say Andrew kind of went into it more with a neutral stance. I probably did come into it more with the opposing stance because I told Ashley I would take the opposing side. But yeah, like since we didn't kind of establish right from the start of the fucking debate, like me and Andrew are neutral, or Andrew is neutral and I am this, it kind of makes it to where we can't say anything because we didn't establish that. Unless we want to sit there and dissect the messages,
Well,
like
it
I
was,
Well,
it
just
was,
did, like
and
I just
quite
did.
honestly, we
it was
had a
pretty clearly
debate.
established in
It
the
was
messages.
a debate about the damn debate itself. Like we didn't get anywhere because we couldn't even get like well established. First, we were agreeable to press forward, but then pressing forward required more like definition, and nobody
And
could
also
agree.
y'all asking to have the debate with us, it's y'all who's proposing it. Like that's
That
the
that
whole
that
point.
part that part makes no difference. First of all, I didn't propose shit. I was invited to this debate just like you
Well,
guys.
Ashley did though, so that's your teammate. That's your side.
That it makes no difference who proposes the debate in terms of who's arguing what. That doesn't matter. That plays no bearing on anything at
You're
all.
the
When
one making the claim.
so there's a debate prompt, right? You agree on a debate prompt beforehand,
No,
which
so
means
like
agree.
the formal debates, there's like somebody making a claim. Like if we were just doing a YouTube debate prompt, then yeah, you're right. But the way that he's doing it, which was like the most formal way possible, then no, you're making a claim.
Well, if you were
He's
doing it
also
formally,
making.
though, you would provide your prompts in advance anyways. You would be submitting like kind of like generalized statements about like your portion of it. So it's I don't know. Like I think he was trying to apply formal tactics and formal technicalities to a YouTube debate and utilize them only when they're to his advantage, but then scapegoat it, at the end of it. So I think it was like he was trying to like get around that technicality and use it, but still the whole thing wasn't formally done to begin with. If it was formally done, the moderator would have reached out to you guys and set this all up, not one of the people who are doing the debate itself.
Yeah, in a formal debate, you're supposed to send all the studies you're going to use ahead of time. I mean, like, it was very clear it was not a formal debate. But even again, I just want to keep reiterating this point because I feel like Sergio might, like, I don't know, maybe it's not resonating. But if we set up the debate, he set up the debate, the moderator set up the debate, he's not taking the neutral position. He's arguing the no side. There's still a level of burden of proof that he has to provide. There's equal burden of proof that needs to be provided by both sides when you're arguing the no position. If you're arguing the agnostic neutral position, then no, you would be correct. But that wasn't the case
But that's
there.
what I'm saying. I think that because nothing was said, like this dude's smart. He knew. Oh, y'all are gonna ask me what it is. Okay, I'm default neutral. I'm defaulting
You
to
can't,
neutral.
but you can't like that would be like if I did that. Like, oh well, I'm neutral too. You can't just change the what position you're
He
arguing.
didn't propose what, but no, he didn't go to Ashley and say, "Hey, I want to debate you on this."
It doesn't matter. He agreed to the debate prompt and he agreed to argue the no side.
He just said, "Oh, like I saw the messages. It was very basic. He was just like, okay, who's my partner? Okay, what side
Right.
am I on? Okay."
So
Like
he
he
agreed.
never said what he believed or what he just said okay to like a few different things. Like
He doesn't need
technically,
to. He
technically, I
agrees.
don't think he ever took a side, even when he was replying to the messages.
Right, because it's a lot
Because
easier.
he's so smart about being very basic with his fucking messages.
Bro, it seems like you have a little bit of a man crush on Andrew. I mean,
No, I think that he's really smart about the way that he does stuff sometimes and how he words things, which is how probably all humans should be. But most of us kind of like don't do that shit.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
I mean,
I don't think. Okay, I have so much thoughts on that, especially given some of the information I found out recently. But yeah, I don't think people should be like Andrew. I'll just leave it at that. Second of all, again, he agreed to the debate prompt. Like you're saying, he didn't enthusiastically agree. Okay, he still agreed to the debate prompt. If he wasn't comfortable arguing no position, what he should have done is said, "Hey, I don't want to argue no position." Kind of like you and I have been going back, Sergio, about setting up a debate topic. What do? Hey, I don't really want to argue the no position because I'm kind of neutral on this, right? That's what you do when you don't want to argue no position. But if you agree that you're going to argue no position, that you can't just decide halfway through the debate that you want to take a neutral position. It's always easier to take the agnostic neutral position. But it's a cop out if you already agreed to take the negative position. This is not
like,
like a
if you could show me a message where he said, "Okay, I support that position, and like that, I'm going to do that." Like, and he never did though. I'm pretty sure if somebody could bring the messages up, I'm pretty sure he just said like, "Okay," and then
right.
like,
So she
"Okay."
said. So she says, "Here's the prompt. Okay, which side am I arguing? You're arguing the no side." He's like, "Okay, that's him agreeing." Again, you're right. He didn't enthusiastically agree, but that's still agreement. Like
No,
I don't.
but okay isn't saying like this is my stance, and I'm pretty like I don't like I said he's using formal debate tricks. Like he's going to sit there and be like, "Well,
This
you
would
didn't bring it up. You didn't ask me what I am, so I'm neutral."
this
Like
would
if
never.
y'all
This
were
would.
smart, like y'all should have been like, "Hey, what's your stance?" But y'all didn't know. I understand this because y'all have had a lot of good debates with him that probably weren't like this. And you're like, "Oh yeah, he's not gonna do anything crazy. Like he's gonna do the same. He's gonna lower. He's gonna put a handicap on himself down. So then he's like,
Oh
he's
my!
not gonna fucking
I
destroy
don't know
us."
where these talking points come from. This is not about handicap. None of this would ever fly in a formal debate ever. This would never be accepted. The moderator would step in, and no offense to you, I was the first time moderating, but the moderator would step in and be like, "Hey, you have to answer this question. You have to answer this clarifying question. Hey, you're arguing the no position. You can't just say all the burden of proof is on you."
But she
So
couldn't even say that he's arguing the no position if we never established that from the get go, and the messages never established it either.
she literally said, "You're going to be arguing no position." He said, "Okay." I mean, what do you want him to say? "Oh, yes, baby. I can't wait to argue the no position." Like, yeah, he didn't enthusiastically agree, but he agreed.
And then,
Like,
like, I wouldn't also be surprised. He knows I hate the fucking red pill, so I wouldn't be surprised if he knew that and he was like, "Oh, me and Sergio are probably going to be on the neutral side because we actually don't even like the red pill that much. Like, we actually don't like it at all." So, like,
Sergio, okay,
I could see where, like, in his head, he's thinking me and Sergio are in the neutral position because, like, we're not and honestly, that's what we are. We are agnostic to it because like neither of us are fucking red pill. Like my channel's called Purple Pill Pod, bro. I get made fun of by red pillars every day, and I know that you're not claiming red pill.
that's totally fine. And I'm not holding you accountable for this because you were not involved in this direct coordination. I don't know what kind of tax transpired between you and Ashley, but that's fine. But that needs to be stated before the debate. When you're given debate prompt, right? And you feel like kind of like I've done with you. When you give me a debate prompt, I'm like, hey, I can't really argue in no position here. I'm more neutral here. That's what's supposed to happen. That's not being smart. That's just being deceptive or just being purposefully oblivious to shit. And also, the thing is that like, yeah, it's like this is just like no way to interact and have like a discussion. It wouldn't fly in a formal debate. I guess it can sort of fly in an informal debate, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of is what it is, dude.
Well, now we know when we do debates, we better establish who's on who's on which side, or if somebody's taking the neutral position. Like this is all a learning experience to me. Like I learned from all this, and I'm gonna make sure
For
whenever I do stuff
you,
in the future
so
that
for you, you could make that argument because you're new to debating. Andrew can't because he's very experienced at debating. He cannot make the argument that he didn't know. The only argument he can make is that he didn't really look at the messages or he like skimmed over them, blah blah blah. That's the only argument that could be made. But it's just like, okay, let's say that you say, "Hey Alex, can you do me a favor? Can you pick me up from the airport? I'm flying into Miami." I say, "Okay," and then you're at the airport. I'm not there. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't, I just said okay. I didn't really agree that much. I was just like, it's okay, I mean, like, it was like sort of agree, but not really. Like that argument wouldn't fly when it comes to anything else. I don't know why we.
Bro, if somebody replied to me okay when I said I'm flying in and they do that, I would call them. I would message them like 5 more times. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I don't want to get stranded at the airport. So no, like I get your analogy, but it's just like I'm the type where I would double and triple check. Since I know nothing about debate, I would have not known to do anything. And let's be honest here, like, do you and Ashley, are y'all as fucking debate pros to know about this stuff? Like, I don't know. Like,
So yeah, I
I'm a
don't.
noob over here, bro.
I don't have nearly as much debate experience as Andrew, and I've already granted many times that I think he's quite good debating when he's not bad faith. And I think that the majority of times that we've debated, he comes out slightly on top. Some exceptions, but generally speaking. But that being said, that doesn't really change the facts when it comes to this debate proposition. And again, I wasn't the one that set up this debate. I think that but anyway, I do know enough about formal logic and formal debate because I was actually mentored by someone who's really, really good at this shit. Who Andrew also doesn't want to debate, oddly enough. So that I do know what does fly when it comes to formal logic and formal debate, and what doesn't. Like that would just not work in a formal debate at all, dude. I feel bad for leaving because it's a fun discussion, but I have 20 minutes to get to Whole Foods.
Oh man, get your food.
Oh, Alex, well, thanks for coming on. It was actually a really great conversation, and especially to have a person from each side coming in and talking about it, and I feel like it was actually very productive. But thank you so
Yeah, for
much.
sure. Thanks for having me on. And
Yeah,
I do.
bro.
Even though we disagree on this, Sergio, I do respect you because you're actually like willing to engage and you're like not just doing weird fucking BS where you're like, oh, I don't feel like answering that. So yeah, let's definitely coordinate that other debate we were talking about. We can do that offline though.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I haven't learned like my pro fucking debate tactics yet to be good at this shit. So you should take advantage of it till I get good for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but yeah, I got
I'm
you. All
just
right, buddy.
fucking with you,
Take it
bro.
easy.
Later,
All right,
bro.
later, guys.
And I will take the mod practice for that if you guys need one.
Yeah, we might.
Um, let me I'm gonna go ahead and open up the panel if you're good with it,
Yeah.
and we can.
I know a
I'm gonna.
lot of your people don't like me. I see from the comments. I would love to answer some of their questions because I'm always very
Oh.
I'm very misjudged and mischaracterized sometimes because I'm not like it bothers me because when you look at the red pill space or if you look at the manosphere or just dating coaches, it is fucking like repeat after parroting. Like it's literally all the same shit. And it bothers me.
Mhm.
It's just like y'all really don't know what the fuck I talk about because if you did, you'd understand I don't parrot any of the fucking shit that they say. I'm
Yeah,
actually
you don't
very much the
need
opposite
to
of
be
them in a lot of
actually.
ways.
You're kind of you're not necessarily in opposition, but you're running perpendicular, not parallel, I think.
Yeah.
That's how I
Well,
could describe it.
like I'm very arrogant. I think I'm right. Okay. Like the thing is like it's all about solutions to me. Like to me, being a man, like I think women are allowed to complain all day long. Like that's just what it is. Like we need wood or like we need food. Like go kill fucking the deer or something. Like women complaining is normal. Like kids complain to the mom and the mom complains to the dad and like we go outside and kill something or chop something and bring it in. Like that's normal. But when a guy complains, but he's not a problem solver, it's a huge issue. I hate the red pill space because they suck at problem solving. Like you don't get
Mhm.
respected in society as a man if you suck at solving the problem.
That's true.
If you have a shitty solution, people are gonna roast you for having the shittiest solution. There's a
Mhm.
hierarchy of solutions. And so like it really bothers me when people just default to this red pill shit or what some of these creators say because there are better solutions. There is a hierarchy of like solutions and it's just a matter of time before it like kind of breaks out. I feel like I'm just like ahead of a trend and everybody thinks I'm stupid and crazy right now, but I'll see y'all in fucking 10 years. Like I know I'm
Oh, I
ahead of the
feel like
fucking
you're
curve.
thinking more outside of the box, and you're not just I don't think you're doing a one size fits all per se. I think you're just kind of creating a new path and not being an echo chamber.
Yeah. I'm not trying to sit there and copy and paste. Like, and if you know anything about going viral or making a good product or, just being good at this type of game, you can't be like everybody else. You have to stand on the shoulders of giants and create something new.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I agree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in the oh my God, what's the word? The chat box here. Folks, I went through a whole lot of work to set up a tipping page or a donation page, however you want to call it. This way, I love doing this for you. I love helping you out. It is a lot of work and I love presenting and entertaining, but it does take a lot of time. So if you want to keep me from eating the ramen noodles, keep me off of OnlyFans, keep me from having to, I don't know, find another part-time job. Because if I have to do that, then, then I can't do this. But I'm going to go ahead and drop the StreamYard link in. I'm going to let people start piling in the back as they deem fit. In the meantime, Sergio, I'm going to give you and I just a little 4-minute break. I'm going to play a little video. This is the drama that ensued afterwards. So let the crowd kind of get away from listening to us talk for 4 minutes and give us a little rest time. All right, here we go.
Well, he's getting in with the red pillars. He doesn't want to debate about them, which is why I thought it was weird that he agreed to do the debate, which actually didn't even agree to do them. He offered to do the debate.
Bullshit. And unlike Ashley, I'm not going to be releasing any of these DMs. She can release them.
I appreciate it. I just wish he would have been honest about it. That's all. But I appreciate that he came on. It was fun.
She came to me, not me, her. Big shock there, and said that she was looking for someone to do a red pill debate and asked me if I would. And then thanked me profusely because I agreed to do it because I wanted to help her channel out.
On top of that, he kept saying, well, that's just what a red pill content creator said.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that was the fucking debate prompt.
Had I known for a second that what it was actually going to be was, hey, these people who you disagree with but work with from time to time, I want you to trash those people. Am I supposed to trash Alex? Because I've never done that.
You just read the DMs. Yep. I couldn't have been more clear.
Yeah, you should do a sword. You should do a sword where he says, if I knew it was about rental conspiracy, I wouldn't even comment and just show that screenshot.
I wish you would have been honest and told me that the entirety of what it was going to be was that you were going to shit on people who I sometimes work with on different shows in order to get me to shit on those same people so that we were in some kind of content war because you don't fucking like them.
He's the epitome. That was the most bad faith. I especially told him, he texted me afterwards. He was like, yo, man, hope there's no ill will. I'm like, yeah, there's no ill will.
Yeah, I know. It's a totally bad faith, mean Andrew. I texted Alex after the debate, as Alex just said, and said, look, I hope there's no bad will. I did what I do in debates, and I came on to the debate and debated. We can continue to work together like we have for several years.
He has no idea what red pill tenants are, and he didn't want to come off looking like, taking that optical, kind of L.
Their perspective is Andrew just doesn't know anything.
I told him about the tenets of the red pill, or even when I pulled up, I literally had, whatever, it doesn't matter. Even when we did, he was like, by whose definition?
That I'll often guide them through their own arguments while we're debating, just to help them out.
No debate happened. There was no debate. This was just a petty argument about how to start the debate, essentially.
That I wouldn't allow just an endless Q&A because that's not a debate, that's an interview.
Obviously understanding this was about creators. You can see the way he worded his response. It was not... Nothing about that said the red pill ideology. It legitimately said the creators,
Yeah, you would still have to make the distinguishment between the two, what the red pill is versus what a red pill debate creator says. But I damn sure am not going to try to defend or attack these different people in the sphere who I'm about to go debate. And why would you want to put me in a position where I had to?
I do find Andrew to be very entertaining. And again, behind the scenes, a totally different person. I understand the character.
People don't talk to you like this, about you like this, if they're on your side and they're your buddies. This isn't how people who like you and respect you talk about you. That isn't how this works.
Part of his debate prep stream, he was definitely making comments about me, you, to kind of make us insecure and stuff, watching some of it back later, and then clips that Sarah and Michelle sent me. And then he was definitely already making comments and stuff to gas Sarah up.
These fucking people, especially Ashley here, reading way more into something than the thought that I'm giving it.
Oh, he's a master manipulator, though.
I'm an evil genius, master manipulator.
He does it. You know how I was telling you he does that sometimes, but he took.
You actually told me ahead of this debate that you suspected this is what he would do.
I'm an S tier debater. These people are F tier.
That was a shit show.
Yeah.
So much hate went around, and it kind of broke my heart. Oh, we finally got one on. All right. I was waiting that whole time. I was like, did I not drop the right? I thought I dropped the Mazzy, I see you back there. Hang on just a
I really
second.
want Knight and Bishop to come on because he keeps talking about marriage. I would love to talk about the marriage topic if he wants to jump in and talk about it.
Did I forget to hit send when I dropped the StreamYard? Okay, it's in there. The one that's pinned at the top is if you want to donate at all. I'm not going to force anybody to do it, but if you want to, that's great. Nobody's dying over here, though. But Mazzy, I'll go ahead and bring you on. Vinyl community in the house.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but it's a challenge between David Donnelly here and William to come on up here. And I listened to the last hour. What the fuck are these two guys talking about? Am I aged out, or do young guys are just so fucked up with this competitive thing that I just missed it? I'm curious.
So to Sergio and probably half the chat who doesn't know what's going on, Mazzy is our good friend from the vinyl community. I love networking out and getting into different groups and understanding. So the manosphere is a completely new concept to him. This debate stuff is new to him as well.
I lived in it. I've lived it for many years, but we didn't call it that. But that's fine.
I will say the manosphere has accepted Mazzy and has claimed him as like the alpha male. Because he's got some great talking points. He's got experience. He owns who he is and he loves it. And none of them can tell him otherwise. So we love you for it, Mazzy. It's wonderful. But what happened basically was last week, last Tuesday on Ashley's stream, I moderated a debate between Ashley, Alex from Playing with Fire, who was just on here a minute ago, Sergio, who's above you, and then Andrew Wilson from The Crucible. Now, Andrew Wilson is a huge debater. He goes around, and that's like literally his job is to debate. He loves it. He calls it blood sports, which means he goes in for the kill every time, no matter what. And that man will not take on a debate and lose. He typically always wins.
Any subject? Sorry to interrupt, but any subject? He debates any subject?
He sticks to normal talk, like certain ones surrounding the manosphere or Christianity. He is Catholic, so he definitely pulls that realm in very hard.
That fake guy in the sky with the roll away the stone that no one's ever seen before and it doesn't exist. The science fiction thing, that guy, that Jesus.
If that's what you want to refer to as, then I will accept it.
I just got to correct you.
Jewish. We invented that guy. They took it away from us. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Orthodox. I just wanted to correct it's Orthodoxy because there's a big difference between Catholic and Orthodox.
Okay.
Sarah,
I believe in everybody's faith.
Just
don't fucking sell it to me. That's my.
Pardon me. I did misspeak. So this debate that we did last week went to hell in a handbasket, and it was treacherous to watch. It's been kind of a talking point of the manosphere community and most of the YouTube community that surrounds it as well. Everybody's covering it. Everybody's discussing it. Why? Because after the debate, Ashley and Alex went on to another channel like a couple nights later and kind of, I wouldn't really call it shit talking, but they basically shit talked the concept, and Andrew found out he wasn't happy with it, so he streamed the next day, the next afternoon, and basically has like broken his friendship with Alex and Ashley and wants nothing to do with them because of things that were said, which was the video I just played. So all of this drama has ensued from it, and then the talking points are now, who won the debate, or did Andrew have to answer the questions? Why was it such a merry-go-round? Why didn't we essentially they debated what the debate was going to be about the entire time, and trying to define things and take it from there. And it became a shit show, and it was a total mess. So that's where we are.
Got it. Okay. I'm somewhat up to speed, but that's okay. I don't need to know it all. And I respect the other people's opinion. I know there's some comments here. I'm agnostic. Okay. We're talking the religious thing. I'm a Jew, yes, but I'm agnostic. If you know what agnostic means, I'm not quite atheist. I'm basically, I'm hedging my bets. I don't believe in God, but prove it to me and maybe I'll change my mind. So that's my thing. You know, I don't think it's been proven. I get there's a certain thing about faith. It's about faith, and that's how you believe. I don't believe that shit, but if it's proven to me, I will change that.
Can I attempt to prove it to you
Gnostic
just
is
real quick?
again, it's like being in the center left, center right, whatever. I'm sorry, what?
Can I try to prove it to you real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want me to try to prove to you God or Jesus?
Whatever you say.
Let's do the God one.
I believe Jesus existed. We just don't believe he's the Son of God. He was a Jewish guy. He was a rabbi. He was a leader. He was a carpenter, but not the Son of God part. But go
you
ahead.
Don't think he rose from the dead?
No.
Okay. No, there was 500 people who witnessed it, so I actually believe Jesus did.
There's
did
500 people that more than 500 people that think that Biden won the election, but a lot of people don't. So go ahead.
But the God debate is pretty cool when you think about it, because we know that through quantum physics, there's definitely probably a multiverse. There's multiple universes, and just the fact that we're in a universe,
Spider-Man multiverse, so I understand that.
Yeah. But just because we're in a universe where gravity is actually tuned right where it's at right now, and how all of our laws of physics are and our math formulas are all tuned where they're at, it shows that we're in a special place. Like we were just happened to be, in this perfect one, or in this one that is special compared to all the other ones. So that's usually something that they try to go back to, and even with the Big Bang, the Big Bang can still be created by God, because who created what started the Big Bang to happen? There's something there was something before that. So I actually use science to prove God. I believe God. I believe in God through science. It's not even through faith. I also have faith too, but I have so much science to back it up and to back up all the claims, and determinism too, for evolution to get to the point where we're conscious and where we can decide things and debate and try to we're working towards something. Nature is trying to get to something. I don't know what the fuck it's trying to do, but it's trying to do something. And I don't know who's controlling that deterministic path, but it's something.
Are you still trying to prove it to me in this conversation?
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. That's just a little short spiel.
I still didn't hear the proof.
Yeah, I mean, well, just science is all hypothesis, so that's literally.
I believe your opinion, yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, if you have the faith and you're a believer, all the power to you. I believe in people's faith. I have faith, and I am very spiritual, but I don't believe in the science fiction thing. Now, that could change, and I get that, and I don't disrespect someone who believes in Jesus and the Son of God and all that, but it hasn't been proven to me, and I don't want my fucking government in this country using that as a reason to do everything for everyone else, or to use it as a support thing. So religion should be a personal thing. It shouldn't be a sales tool, which is. I agree with that. It's become that. So that's
I agree with that. And but do you believe in the Big Bang? Do you think the Big Bang happened, as far as the number one hypothesis?
Probably yes. Yeah.
And evolution? Do you believe in evolution?
Oh, I totally believe in evolution. Yes.
Yeah. So all I was saying is just a Christian, or not a Christian, but just a hypothesis about God that is parallel with our theories of what we've already created. So I actually use the Big Bang, and I use evolution to prove that there is a God. Like to me, those things actually prove, because of the deterministic path of evolution, and because of the Big Bang having to come from something, I can use those two things to parallel and say that I think that there is a God because of that. So now also I do believe in faith, though. Over here in faith, I believe in God and all that. But over here in science, I also believe in it too. It can be two separate things. You can have two things at once.
And I respect that you believe in faith, and I would never disavow or go against that you believe in faith. But don't push it on me or anyone else. And I don't happen to believe in that part of it, that there was this almighty creator. It's just I believe in evolution, the natural, the natural, I don't know what to say history, but of creation. I believe in that. So
yeah, no.
Religion is organized. Here's the thing. What's wrecked it for my religious friends is organized religion, where it's about a buck and making a mega church and everything else, and
I agree with
proselytizing. And I was brought up Jewish. I was adopted, but I was brought up Jewish, but I am again agnostic. I hedge my bets. I used to be very religious, but at least, and I'm not. There's no religion better, but in the Jewish religion, we don't try to bring people in to sell them like this is the best thing. In fact, you have to go through a lot of shit to become a Jew if you want to become a Jew. Christianity just kind of goes like that and says, hey, we want all you slaves to be a Jew. We want you in this country to be a Catholic. I think that's kind of bullshit, That's when
Jews are also saved by the bloodline, so you really don't have to do anything because you're saved just because of your bloodline.
I'm not by blood. My father was half Jewish. My mother wasn't Jewish. I was adopted. But I was brought up in Judaism, and I respect some of it. But to me, again, some religious beliefs are outdated. For instance, in my religion, being kosher, at one point you would eat pork and you would die from trichinosis. That's no longer the case. So certain things are outdated in religion, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like I'm not for organized religion really either. I'm very much against Catholicism.
Sorry, gentlemen. Let me go ahead and interrupt. I do have more people from the vinyl community. It's going to be a vinyl community party tonight. But it usually gets pretty lit when they join in, and I love it. So I'm going to go ahead.
We're record geeks. We're music geeks.
I love it. So, Sergio, I know you're pretty open to, people of all sorts. So these are.
I respect. I love having a conversation with someone like Sergio because it's not a violent or back and forth like mine's better than yours or yours is better than mine. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, Sergio's very good at talking to just about anyone from what I've seen. And I think I've brought the vinyl community. I love
David Donnelly, put a fucking shirt on.
I've just got out of the shower.
You got excuse. That is okay. And William, okay.
But let me say, Sergio, all those people talking shit in the chat, where are they right now?
I'm trying to get them to come talk. I wanted to talk to some of them. Yeah.
I know Knight and Bishop rolled when we started talking religion, which is fine. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
I gotta say something because this guy BBC, he says, I heard Mazzy wanted Gaza to be eliminated. That is untrue. Untrue.
Whoa.
I untrue totally. So I'm gonna stop right there. I do support Israel. However, I don't like Netanyahu. I think he's fucked it up there. I believe in a two-state solution, and I think Israel has fucked this post-war up. However, Hamas and all these fucking people wanted Israel to not exist for 50, 60 years, okay? So you can't go and negotiate with someone who doesn't want your country to exist. But having said that, Netanyahu's fucked this up, so I don't. So you're absolutely wrong, BBC. I just want to say I hate politics and this whole thing, Sarah, on your channel, but I had to respond.
Mazzy,
it's a gear shift. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, no, and Mazzy, I would love to have a conversation like that with you, maybe at a good time. But I was actually looking forward to hearing you school some of us young little whippersnappers.
I'm not schooling anybody. I have my opinion, and
I was looking forward to it.
I would never tell you how to feel or how to respond or I have experience.
Mazzy,
like David,
I kind of thought that's what we were in for tonight. I'm going to be honest.
No,
I wanted to hear your insight.
I'm not here for that.
Well,
but
you
as
know,
I said, I
okay.
loved your video today. To me, that's what you should do more of.
You know, and that was a shout to Vinyl Richie. He gave me an idea, and that's a new. I've seen him a lot, but just recently I was like, I better start watching more of his videos. I think he's amazing, and this is just me being new to the vinyl community and getting
Richie's
acquainted
a great
with.
guy.
He
Richie's a
sure
good guy.
is. He sure is, and I actually saw him up on Rachel's Ghost this week. I wish he would call in more often because he says a lot of the things that I would like to say. And honestly, Mazzy, I do kind of feel like a little bit of a misfit. Part of what I'm doing here on my channel, it does seem a little bit weird, but I would like, maybe there's a new wave of people I'm looking to get, and it might be a little confusing to people, but I'm just saying, bear with me. I do think I'm a pretty entertaining guy.
Well, here's my thing. Do what you do and be consistent and do what you do best. Those of you who don't know what we're about, David and William and I, we're in this vinyl community. It's a small group within YouTube. I just coincidence or luck or whatever. I have now 33,000 subscribers. I'm a big channel in a small pond, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so that's it. I mean, I don't know any more than a lot of other people, but I just do my shtick, and David and I become sort of virtual friends because of that. And he reached out to me, and hopefully I'll meet you in August, maybe.
Oh yes,
I'm going to London.
I'm looking forward to
it. That's all it is. Nobody's better than anyone else. We're just in a different thing. But we had some in our things, just like I've watched some of Sarah's and some of your things, and you guys have a shit show of drama here, right, Rachel? Right?
Yeah.
I started at Rachel. Sorry, Sarah. I apologize. But we have a drama, but our drama seems to be minuscule compared to the shit show here.
Well, your drama is very directed at
it's all over the place in the vinyl community.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's
kind of faux bullshit, though, isn't it? Really?
Do you not think, considering that we're talking about records and music, it's fucking mental to actually have the arguments they have in there?
Exactly.
Can I make a point, guys? Because we've spent so many years collecting records, and we pedestalize and idolize musicians. And the funny thing about the vinyl community is, I think we've now gotten to a point where we are pedestalizing ourselves. Does that make any sense?
What was the word you just used there?
Pedestalizing.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
I don't know about that. I mean, okay.
I don't know. I'd never put myself on a pedestal.
You got a wanker.
I am what I am.
I'm sorry, William and I disagree here, but you got a wanker in the comments who always dumps on me and does my name wrong, and he's the fucking cunt. Excuse me.
Are we talking about Dave the pickup artist?
Yeah. And his videos are good, but then he gets in this like Tourette's syndrome. He always dumps on me and other people and misogynist, homophobic, anti-Semitic shit. But when he makes his videos, he's good. So why does he have to go there? I'm sorry, pickup.
Oh, and I mean, it is debatable. I don't think
it's not debatable.
I don't get that vibe from his videos.
But you haven't,
and I don't honestly, I don't want to get into it.
How long have you
really.
Been here, William? How long have you been in the vinyl community? Quote.
A couple of years, honestly, maybe about a little less than a year. Heavily promoting.
I've been there 6 years.
No, I know.
It's been a constant thing. So there you go.
Well, okay, and I don't want to get into it. Honestly, I was really looking forward to some.
We want to bring some more drama to Sarah here. That's why.
Well, I guess
I wanted to actually know what you guys thought about kind of like what Alex and Sergio were going back and forth on, and if I know you obviously probably haven't seen it, but did you have an understanding to kind of like what they were talking about?
No, I genuinely really wanted to understand. I wanted to learn. I really wanted to learn, and it's like Sergio. Earlier on, he said something about, I can't remember, Sergio, whether you said it or someone else said it, but it just said it was like a boxing match or something like that. And I actually left a comment at the time saying it's like a boxing match in a wardrobe. It's like it wasn't a debate. That wasn't a debate. That was someone shouting almost nonsensical sentences at someone who they clearly disagreed with. But I could not get my head around what the argument was. I genuinely don't know. I'm not trying to be awkward, but maybe I'm a bit thick. I don't know. I just didn't. I couldn't understand it, and I desperately wanted to. This whole red pill thing, and talking about, you know, women who have a body count and stuff like that, and all this stuff. Why
Oh,
is
it's
Well,
true.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong to feel lost because
why is that
the
important?
debate,
You know?
the debate in itself was like debating the debate. And there was too much banter going on to even kind of like bring it down to a simple level of, you know, statement rebuttal.
Yeah.
Statement rebuttal. We couldn't get to that point because it was just going around in circles like a merry-go-round too much. So you're not wrong to feel confused, but that's why this is such a big talking point, is because not only could they not settle on the debate in itself and what it was going to be about or defining it, but they also like the banter got into a screaming match, and it just kind of went a little too far.
Yeah, it just seemed really, and it just went so. I mean, I know I'm older than probably everyone other than Mazzy here.
Exactly.
But
I have no problem with that.
it's
David.
kind of honestly,
Me and Sergio bring the age
it
group
was
down, or actually William too. We bring the age range down a little.
it was just bizarre. Just these guys arguing like. I'd be embarrassed if I saw a bunch of teenagers arguing like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just I want to smack their heads together.
You get shit asses like I don't know if you see that BBC last comment. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it's so ridiculous. But you know,
But you see, that's what I was Mazzy. You see, I was going to say, because I know you a bit, right? And we've had our discussion. It's sometimes when people are having a go at you, I honestly think to myself, are they talking about the right person? Because you're so not these.
I think I'm pretty even-handed, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty moderate. I'm really a moderate. I'm left of center. I'm a moderate. I'm cool-headed for the most part. But then I get these wankers, and I like to use, it's a great word from the British. That say this shit, and it's like they're not listening. They don't pay attention.
You know, Norman,
what'd you say?
I wanted to show a record here on the show, if you don't mind, Sarah.
Oh my God, let's do it. My first record showing on the show. Let's do it.
Well, I thought maybe we could have maybe the three of us, David, but I do have at least one prepared, and this record might help explain maybe what Alex was trying to say earlier.
Oh.
And, you know, and this is to maybe help Norman understand what we might be talking about here in the Red Pill.
Yeah.
And this is, and I will want to mention something after I show the record, but this is Waylon Jennings, Ladies Love Outlaws.
That's a good record.
It is a great record. And this is from the Outlaw era, from the kind of early Outlaw era of Waylon Jennings. And, you know, this would, I think, would put into perspective why ladies love a bad boy. And, you know, they love an outlaw, a young gunslinger, and a guy who's not afraid to break the rules. So, you know, to explain, you know, some of us young little whippersnappers to you, Norman, we might come off as a little bit, you know, rude or pushy. But, you know, I think what we understand that women want a man who's assertive. And you can be assertive with, and you know, without being pushy and demanding, and you need to show a woman who's boss is basically what I'm trying to say.
Well,
does that make any sense?
William, my mom approves tomato paste with the awesome music choice.
You know, that's one opinion. He didn't write that song. Who wrote it? Lee Clayton, I think. Great song. Tom Rush recorded it. A lot of people recorded that song. Great song. That's a great album. Ladies Love Outlaws. But see, we get these people. Okay, Dave again. Maslov belongs in a zoo.
Ignore Dave. I want to hear. I want to hear Maz.
But he's consistent with his Tourette's. He's got like a Tourette's thing. He just says this shit.
Well,
and
no,
this guy BBC. I mean, I don't care about it because I've never met the guy before today. I've still never met him. But it's easy when you're anonymous. At least I will say this for Dave. He does videos. We know who he is. Okay. Yeah. He doesn't like me. No problem. Yeah. This guy BBC says his shit. He's making shit up, whatever, but so be it. Yeah, I like
Maz,
William. I like that record. That's a good choice.
It's a great record. Yeah, no,
Does Dave the pickup artist ever go on stream at all?
No,
Does he ever go live?
I'm trying to get him, but
Dave, I'd love
he's
to
a tough
have you
one.
on.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're gonna troll the chat, have some balls there, buddy.
There you go.
Come on, Dave.
Absolutely, Sarah. That's it.
Yeah,
that's cool. No, I take responsibility for Dave, guys. So
you don't have to take. He's been around here for a long time.
No, I know. I'm kind of playing, but no, Norman. I was kind of thinking because you do talk about on Rachel's Ghost that some of the men who call in here do seem a little rude, and so I do want to get some of that old-fashioned perspective from you.
Well, to me, okay, I've only listened to maybe 3 of these shows, and I was on one before. It is a generational thing because I grew up in the generation that grew up during the women's movement, and so in California, San Francisco, the liberal side of it. So to me, it was totally equal. And the way I've heard some of these younger guys talk about this bitches, and I just I don't talk like that, and I'm not a prude about anything else, but I would never talk up and treat a woman like that, And
Yeah.
it might be me being old-fashioned, but I think it's not old-fashioned, just common courtesy. If you want to have sex with multiple women, or women want to have sex with multiple men, I don't give a shit. I grew up in that generation, sort of pre-AIDS and then AIDS, when you had to be a little more careful in San Francisco. But we didn't treat the other side like with that shit. And I just think it's bullshit anyway. So when I hear it here, it's kind of maybe because I'm not around then. And most of my close friends here, I'm in liberal Seattle. Most of my close friends are women. Oh, by the way, today is National Margarita Day.
Hell yes.
And I just got back with my friends, Coffee Julie and Nicole, and we went out and we had margaritas and stuff. And just want to say that. So when I hear that, I mean, it's not like I'm shocked, but it's just like, really, you're going to talk about women that way? It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's more surprising, isn't it? And
It
I'm,
is.
I mean, Mazzy, I'm all for the women's movement. I hate it when they just lie there. No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
And part of what you talk about a little bit, Mazzy, what I've heard on Rachel's Ghost anyway is we sort of call that like maybe blue pill, and I've sort of come new to the red pill here on YouTube in the last few years, just from the group that I've come from. But like when I was in college, I very much was blue pilled, and one point I kind of wanted to make, to kind of help you out there, Norman, is to kind of like women are really looking for you being your authentic self. Really, whether it's blue pill or red pill, because you can come to the red pill, you can learn all this knowledge here, but putting it into action is something completely different. When I was in college, I didn't know all this stuff, but I still had very much success with women. I was a gentleman with women, and I had, all kinds of relationships in college. And the way what worked for me is I was just genuine. I was my authentic self, and I was a little naive back then. But, in college, experiences are different for everyone. And, I think people get the impression that, being naive and ignorant, like ignorance is bliss, but, sometimes that isn't a bad thing.
Can I ask you something, William?
Sure thing.
It could have been just a turn of phrase, but you used the phrase, what women want. And to me, that's just nuts. I don't know what the woman that I'm talking to wants until women want loads of things. They're
she
not all
doesn't know what she wants either,
Because
to
it's
be
always
quite
different.
frank.
It's always different, right, Sarah? Every woman is different, like every man is different.
Yeah.
You don't know what they want, and they may not want you. And just because they don't want you, that's fine.
I mean, I know so many different types of women. I mean, I give my mum a lift to church, right? But one of my good friends is an female adult film actress.
Well, and maybe Sergio might have a better concept to this, because Sergio, you kind of push the idea of like making friends with women and doing activities that put yourself around them. So does that make it easier to know and understand them and figure out what they want?
What was he doing specifically?
He was asking William about the idea of like knowing what a woman wants,
Yeah,
and
all women like are all women are coming. It seems like the way it gets talked about sometimes is that all women want this thing that is like it's there's a list, there's a chart that I could follow. But I mean I've always been perfectly happy with the way my romantic life's gone. You know, I'm pretty happy. You know, it's
same here. Yeah,
I've had long relationships. The last long relationship I had was 15 years, and that was really good. And the other thing is, yeah, Sarah, you had a guy on when the first time I came up on the stream. There was a bloke on there, and before I could even sort of introduce myself and say hello, he was going, "Would you fuck Sarah or Ashley? Would you fuck him? Would you fuck him?" And then I was saying about how I was once the drummer in an otherwise all-female rock band, and he go, "Did you fuck any of them? Did you fuck?" And I was just thinking, why is no one going, what's that got to, you know, the world?
Oh, people do.
That's just Carrie. Like we're kind of like used to him. He's like the clown.
Yeah,
that
but it's kind of
shows up
bullshit, really. You're
and-
used to him, but
if
you're
you're
used to the
chasing,
fucking
if you're
bullshit.
chasing women, if you're chasing women just to get, you know, a hint of a velvet TARDIS, as I like to call it, or you're just chasing pussy or whatever you want to say. Why don't you just buy a fleshlight? And you know, or just draw a face on the back of your hand and really go and fire off some knuckle children.
Because
You
David,
know,
they love the chase.
Yeah,
one thing
I really don't think that like most guys understand how it works to just be normal today. Like they're so horny, like it's so hard for them to get sex, even like the teenagers and the 20 to 25-year-old guys, because they're losing out to guys that are like I'm 33, like they're losing out to guys that are older, like my age or older, because women are dating up. They're going up to guys who have more money or older with more experience. So those young guys, like, when you're that horny and you're that desperate and like you're getting to 23, 24 and you're still a virgin, you act kind of fucking weird around girls.
No,
because-
maybe they're
because-
maybe,
because
maybe
they haven't
they're
been around
losing it. Maybe they're losing it to guys who aren't assholes and who are treating women nicely. That's like or have conversation or a sense of humor or something.
Well, that's what I teach, is to just be around women. I had 4 sisters and I had a lot of girlfriends, and all my friends are girls that I'm friends with in real life, and that's why I'm so successful with girls, is because I'm surrounded by them.
yeah,
And so
I think I'm the same. I grew up with my mum and 3 sisters.
yeah, so me and you are probably very similar, and it makes it easy because you understand them. You're bringing up AWOL, like, are all women like that? No, like that's not true. Like anytime they bring up those statements where it's like all women are like that, that's stupid. Obviously, there's always exceptions to a rule. You just use that like those stats and stuff to kind of just, I don't know, be prepared more. It's kind of like an insurance policy. Like you're like, oh well, this might happen because it's happened to a lot of other people. I'll just be prepared for it for just in case. That's it, really.
You know, David, I kind of wanted to touch up on what you were saying. There's a kind of a phrase that is used a lot called "not" or "all women are like that."
Yeah,
and it kind of does go to the idea that women are all looking for the same things or chasing the same things.
Yeah.
Really, what I think it is women are just looking for their basic needs to be met.
Right.
A lot of times they might find a scenario like where the grass is greener. The thing that like the red pill kind of teaches is just to look out for female nature. Is, you know,
yeah,
that's a phrase. Female nature is a phrase that gets brought up a lot. So
yeah,
I'm
It's
trying
just
to
the
sound like an
ontological
expert right now.
It's just the ontological nature of human beings. Like when you read about evolutionary psychology stuff, it's just the nature of human beings. And when you look at the thing is, we're pattern recognition. Humans are very pattern recognition. The reason why we got to the point where we're at right now today is because we're really good at recognizing patterns and surviving because of our pattern recognition. So sometimes it gets overblown, and like some people pattern recognition way too fucking hard and try to, like, especially autistic people are very black and white thinking. So it's like, oh well, it has to be this. It's either this or it's this. And so there's always nuance, and we know that. But anybody who's half-assed intelligent knows that. So it's just but when you get on the internet, you see a lot of people talking, and There's going to be a lot of people complaining. It's going to be a lot of people who are the vocal minority. Like, it's a super small number, but they're vocal as fuck about their problems. So we think there's millions of them, but it's just a bunch of fucking losers. It's just a little bunch of losers. It's not a big deal.
But I mean,
let me go ahead and interrupt this thought process for just a moment. I do want to say thank you to Mazzy for the $10. That was very kind of you. And folks, if you do want to donate or anything, the link is tabbed at the top. And now I have not been.
buy you a fucking cocktail anymore. Sorry.
Hey, you know what? It'll buy me a cheeseburger, and I'm happy with that.
Well,
But I have not been formally introduced to Nina, but I've heard some things about her. I know that she's had some stuff with Ashley, and she's here backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. Nina, welcome to the panel. Welcome to the Raging Tomato, Roasted Tomatoes. If you want to just take a couple minutes, I believe you are completely new here, and tell us a little bit about yourself and any thoughts about tonight and what's going on.
Hey, I was just interested about the whole red pill conversation. I was just watching something on that, specifically with the Ashley one. I know Sergio, you were part of that, and I believe Sarah, you were as well. Correct?
I just moderated
modding?
it. Yeah, I was just
Gotcha.
modding, but I was there. It was fun.
It seemed like from what I saw, it was a lot of like kind of avoiding the conversation and like kind of defining it. And I thought it was interesting because I've been listening for a little bit on where it seems like we still have yet to kind of consistently define what we're talking about with red pill, and I'm really interested to work with you guys to see if we can find a definition.
Yeah, absolutely. Sergio, I'll let you take it from there because I know you had some thoughts on that earlier on defining the red pill.
Yeah, well, what do you think the definition of it is, Nina?
Well, I think actually, in the debate that we were talking about, I think that Ashley's, you know, whether a definition is what it is, or like, is it what it actually is, or is it what people think it is? That's a whole conversation, of course. But like, I would say generally, like the idea of the red pill thing is, this kind of lie. I guess I would say it's just a lie that people are given that are specifically given to men that make it seem like they have to have this like high body count thing. They have to then also like for some reason think that virgins are like the coolest thing. It kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones style like nobility, where like if you're like a noble man, you can fuck as many bitches as you want, but you can only marry a noble virgin. And I think it's kind of inherently a little contradictory, but I want to know, I guess, where you guys think that's at, because I think there's a lot of different versions of it.
Yeah, I had to hear where you came from, but yeah, so that's your opinion on what you think the red pill is.
Absolutely. I don't tend to deal in it that often, so I will take notes on what you.
But that's what this whole debate was about, because even Ashley didn't really know what the red pill is. Or actually, she does. I know she's heard Rolo say what I said, because anybody who watches debates.
Okay, so let's just write it down right now. What is it?
It's the ontological nature of human behavior.
Ontological nature. What does that mean?
So it's that's just the study of human nature.
That's not an answer.
Ontology is just the study of human nature.
That's not an answer.
It's just using data from the study of human nature. That's it. That is the answer.
That's just.
It's called
like,
actually.
I could literally say anything. Is that?
Yeah, because it's a very broad answer. That's from the creator of the red
can
pill.
You be a little bit more specific?
So hold on, Nina. I'm not pulling this. Nina, hold on.
This is not the ontological nature.
Nina, let me answer this. This is not what I think this is. This is not what I think this is. I'm saying who the godfather of the red pill, Rollo Tomasi, the guy who everybody
says that you
goes
should
to.
get a vasectomy.
That's what he says it is. That's why I'm just saying stop shooting the messenger. I'm just literally saying exactly what Rollo Tomasi.
But is that what you subscribe to? I'm not shooting the messenger. If that's what you subscribe to,
I'm saying
not shooting the
that
messenger.
what Rollo says, who's the godfather of the red pill, who has red pilled the most people, who Myron Gaines, who sits there and talks all the time about the red pill on his show, he says the godfather, who I learned this from, is Rollo Tomasi and reading The Rational Male. That's what I'm saying. So in general, even Pearl, Myron, the biggest speakers will all say what I just said what it is. It's a
So
praxeology.
do you
It's
think
a
that or no?
descriptor of nature. I didn't hear you.
Do you think that or no?
I go with what they say it is because they're the
So
creators of
you
it.
think that? So you are literally just gonna believe whatever they say? Because you realize that doesn't mean anything.
I didn't create the red pill. That wasn't my creation. It was Rollo Tomasi and a bunch of other people. If I was the one that was like, hey guys, I'm gonna make the red pill and I want it to mean this, then yeah, we would go with what my opinion is of it. But who gives a shit about my opinion? I'm just Sergio.
Okay, so what is in your incredible studies, what is what they would explain outside of ontological nature, because that is a broad thing that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it seems
it's
like
just
you
a
don't really
bunch-
understand what they're even saying then.
Evolutionary psychology is the best thing, but evolutionary psychology is multiple things. You have to look at anthropology, you have to look at biology, you have to look at sociology.
Okay, so
all the
you
evolutionary
you realize
psychology books I read
you're
are
just
about all this.
listing things. Like, do you think that I could actually make any actual life choices based off of what? Like, you're not saying anything.
Like I know I'm giving I'm teaching you right now.
Not only
I'm
not
literally
saying
giving you a
anything,
lesson.
but you're also saying that you don't even believe that because it's just what somebody else told you. Are you religious?
Yeah, I am religious.
Would you consider red pill a religion?
No.
Because it seems to me that the way that you're explaining it is very religion based.
No, actually, it's the opposite of that.
Really?
It's written in pencil. It can be changed based off of if a new study came out tomorrow. I
Okay,
would
yeah,
be
you
reading
know what I
that
wrote
study
at?
too.
Ontological nature. Yes. You know what? So you're saying if Rollo Tomasi, do you just believe in? Do you praise him as a king? Like, do you think Rollo Tomasi is a prophet, where if he tells you tomorrow that being red pilled means that you are the most staunch feminist possible, and you will not even go near a woman with your dick, and you will only lick pussy, that and you will bow down to them constantly, would you then think that was red pill?
No, because it's been the same definition from the start.
No, you're saying it's just what he said. It has not been. You literally just said
You
it's the
sound so
opposite.
retarded right now. It's hilarious.
It's amazing that you would say that, because you said that it's written in pencil, so it could be changeable. And I'm giving you
Because there's new studies that come out every day. That's how science works. Do you know what the scientific method is?
Of course. So you're saying, wait, can it be changed or can it not be changed? Is it not based
What
off
is
of science?
what is the scientific method?
Is it not able to be based off of science? Do you just believe what somebody says, or we are talking about science?
Do you know what the scientific method is?
You have to make an actual claim.
I mean, no,
Please
you
answer.
need to tell me, what is the scientific method?
No, I need to know what you're talking about. Are we talking about science, or are you talking about you're just going to listen to whatever Rollo Tomasi says?
No, I'm asking, do you understand what the scientific method is?
I'm not going to move off this.
Because you need to kind of understand what a hypothesis is. You need to understand how we
for
test
this question.
things.
I don't think that you need
You need to understand how we come up with
I think
theories.
you're running away from what I'm saying.
No, because
are you
this
just
is
gonna go with what Rollo Tomasi says and Pearl Davis says, or do you actually have any scientific vetting for this?
Just so you know, so this is going to take a nuanced take. I know that it's going to be hard for your small woman pea brain, but you're going to have to make it a little bit bigger right now for you to understand what we're going to talk
You
about.
realize
Okay?
you're not engaging in anything I'm saying.
Why do I have to engage with stupid shit that you're saying?
Because
you're not even saying anything that makes sense.
Shit,
You literally
if you think
sound like
my
a
stupid
retard.
shit is stupid, you should be able to engage with it and then defeat it. Where you're not trying to engage with it at all. It makes you look really fucking
You're
dumb,
defeating
dude.
yourself. You're beating yourself up right now.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I'm
You literally look like a retard right now. Anybody who's watching this right now is like, is this bitch just gonna spurg out for the next fucking hour?
I'm sorry, do you know what the last hour? I've been here for about 10 minutes.
No, I'm saying we're trying to predict what you're gonna do. You're just gonna spurg for an hour? Like, what are you gonna do?
You just said that I was here for the last hour?
No, I said, are you going to spurg for an hour? You need to rewind it.
I don't know what spurging. Maybe I misheard.
Are you gonna take a breath? Are you good? Did you breathe a little? Are you okay?
Are you fucking serious right now?
As long as you guys are okay with continuing, I'll keep letting it go. Unless you want me to stop, I will.
You know what? I would like it to continue, but I would like to continue by I'm just gonna sit here and see what he's gonna say.
Okay, I'll put myself back out, but if I need to step back in or anything, just keep it fair.
I mean, there's nothing to say. You're kind of stupid. You don't even know what evolutionary psychology is. You don't know what anthropology is. Probably. You probably don't
Did
know
I
what the
say
red pill is
anything
at
that would
all.
imply that?
Yeah, because you don't know about you don't know what red pill is, and that's what it is. So yeah, you don't know about those things.
So why can't you tell me about it? Do you think that
Which
who
one
is
do
the
you want to know
stupider
about? What do you
one?
want to know about? You want to know
The
about
one
matrix
that
copying?
oh,
Like
wait,
what? Like which stat do you want to know about?
Let me ask you a hypothetical here. If you're an expert on a particular subject and you feel strongly about it and you engage with it constantly, and it's something that you potentially subscribe to, do you think that the person who, when asked about that subject, cannot answer is the dumb one, or the person that is asking the question about it is the dumb
What have
one?
I not answered? You sound stupid.
What is
What have I not answered?
red pill?
Evolutionary psychology. I've answered it
So you would
multiple
just say
times.
directly, you did not answer that it was evolutionary psychology multiple times.
I gave you the easiest answer the
Okay.
very first time. The very first time I gave you the easiest
Well,
one-word answer, but
if-
you wanted
if
me
the-
to expand. Hold on, shut the fuck up. You wanted me to expand on it, so I expanded on it. What else do you want to know?
You didn't give me that, but that's fine.
I did. I gave you the
Psychology?
exact thing. I gave
Okay,
it to
so
you
what
as
does that
simple as
mean to
one
you?
word,
That's fine.
and then I
That's fine.
expanded it
What does
for
that
you.
mean to you? What does that mean to you?
It doesn't have to mean anything to me. What does it mean to you? That was a dumb question.
It
Are you
doesn't
are you
have to
even
mean
like what's your
anything?
IQ? This is insane.
Okay, you are just boring. Yeah, I'm done. We can
Yeah,
move
you
on.
don't know how to ask questions. Like ask
That's
a real
bad
question.
face, fucking annoying, pathetic bullshit, dude.
How does that make you feel?
I hope
Are
that
we
you
in a
know that you look
therapy
like a
session? Is
fucking
this a question and
retard.
answer? Is this
I'm
therapy
sorry.
or
I'm
question and
sorry.
answer?
Sergio there got defensive and didn't answer any of Nina's. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce your name. I apologize.
Nina, yes.
Yeah, you kind of fucked it up. She got you back to the wall. You fucked it up. You kept like you would attack her instead of answering the question. So I give this one to Nina. So
She attacked first. I don't attack people unless they attack
I
me
asked the
first.
question.
I'm very
I know
go
asking
rewind the
questions is
tape.
hard
Go
for-
rewind the
she
tape.
was
I don't attack people
attacking
unless they
your
attack me first.
concepts. Your concepts.
No, she
You
wasn't.
were
She wasn't
attacking a
attacking
person.
Maisie. She wasn't attacking the concepts. You don't even know what you're talking about. She was
I know what I'm
literally.
talking about.
She didn't even know what she was talking about because she doesn't
You're
even
so
know
boring.
what red pill is. So she wasn't attacking
And
the
you
concepts.
can't explain
You're wrong.
it to me.
You're wrong. She wasn't
fucking
even attacking the
red pill
concepts
is. The red
because
pill is a ridiculous
she was literally
concept.
just building a really beautiful straw man for y'all, and that's fine. Y'all
Nice
can
coat.
go ahead and
Nice
stare at
coat.
it.
Coat,
Do whatever you want,
coat.
like a little birdie.
Hi, William.
Nina.
Hi, David. Nice to see you again.
Oh yeah, it's good to
Hi,
see you,
Sarah.
Nina. I saw you earlier on Ashley's thing. That was good.
Hello.
That was good.
Hey, Patrick. Nice to see you.
Oh, is that PB Thal?
No, it's a different Patrick. It's
Oh,
a Swedish
right.
Patrick. It's a Swedish Patrick.
Right. I thought I got dressed. You're right. It's 4:30 in the morning here, and I've just put some clothes on.
Nice.
I love how my panel is just so full of completely different people from different ends. This
You
is
need
great.
to shake it up once in a while. This
I
is
love
great,
the
right?
shake-ups. These are good. And that's like going to a bar, right? When you go to a bar and if it's full of people of all ages, from 21 to 82, like that's when
I'm
you know
not
it's a
that
good
old.
bar. And that's how I feel like my panel has always become is like a good bar where we've got just people from all different ends and different concepts and perceptions and opinions. And I absolutely love it. I love to watch people duke it out.
Sarah, we are in a way, I think David and I especially are crashing the party a little bit because William knows this, but I don't think David and I has any fucking idea what the red and the blue and all this green pills are, right?
Yeah, I get it.
We get a sense of it, but we don't even give a shit about it. It's kind of bullshit to us.
Yeah,
To us.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's bullshit to you guys, but
No. If that's, but it's. I mean, I get that it's the Matrix thing. That it's.
Yeah, right,
You see the truth. You take the red pill to see the truth, and the.
I took my fucking son to see the Matrix on opening night, right? And he was he was what 10 years old or something. And the woman next to me is sitting in upstairs at San Francisco says, "How could you take your son to bring something so violent? Like, give me a fucking break, bitch."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's people like Sarah and Nina and what have you. Do you just not sit with your head in your hand sometimes and just think, what the?
Well, I don't know. Who are people like us? I'm not familiar with
Female.
Sarah.
He means by us being women because so Nina, you're I know you're probably new to this whole stream and channel, but David, William, and Mazzy all come from the vinyl community. Now William is a little more familiar with the Manosphere. That's we met over on LFA's
Vinyl is
channel.
in like
Big collect
records, vinyl records, music.
So
We're
they're
music
music people, and
Music
I've made I've just kind of networked out, and it's wonderful to have them
Sure.
joining us and giving us different perspectives that are kind of what I would consider not tainted by all of the Manosphere chatter, and they don't hone in on red pill, blue pill, black pill. They barely even know anything about it. So it's kind of like a nice childlike, innocent perspective when they come in.
When would Sergio then with them asking what the red pill is, would he be as aggro to them as, because it seems like we're all confused here. Like I don't really get what it is either when it comes to like a direct definition, and I think that's something that we might share as much as I personally do not own vinyl records, but I do appreciate the medium.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who's really into digital media preservation. Like, in a way, it has some similarities of interest, but it's not the same thing, of course.
Yeah,
I feel like you shouldn't be touching it if you like it that much.
It's a sexy physical format, outdated,
Sure.
but we like the artistic essence of it.
I work at a video game company, and I'm very into preservation of our digital media in a new way, which is
I get
not the
that.
same, but
I mean, I think we're all just very passionate about our stuff. Whether I caught
Sure,
part
of
of William's DJ set and I enjoyed that, and Mazzy has a lot of stuff that I've never heard of, so I go and have a listen and I think, oh, this is good, this is all right, and I like to learn. And then, but like the record company I'm on really got annoyed with me when I wanted to put this particular single out, and I said I don't want it on Spotify, I don't want it on iTunes, I don't want it on anything other than a 7-inch vinyl, like I used to go and get when I was a kid, and that is why I sort of
do you not think that's a little in a way elitist? Like, how much is a vinyl print?
What if you wanted to buy my single?
Well, not only that, but like a player that is like of a vinyl print, or that can play vinyls. Like,
well, that's a little bit how long's a piece of string, but I mean, you could pick up a decent one for like $100, and you could get you could pay anything up to 3,000 quid for a Technics, something.
Well, I guess I want to ask you then, like, maybe this is a question, like, because you guys are all into vinyls. What is the interest in vinyls? Is it the love of the music? Because for me, I would imagine that the love of the music is wanting to share it and make it more affordable. Or is it like the collectors, like, is it like the fact that it's just something unique, or or is it like a nostalgia?
You're absolutely right on both counts. I believe is that it is the music, but the thing about having an actual record that you can own and you hold. I mean, imagine if in the unlikely event that Spotify went down, you actually don't own anything.
Right.
Your record collection would be gone. If iTunes went down, it doesn't matter what you bought through there, unless you actually put it onto a hard drive or something, you haven't got a record collection anymore. So when I wanted to put mine out, I am going to let it go out on once the vinyl is sold out, I will put it on iTunes, and that was my compromise. But I wanted to put it out. I had a painting done by a local artist, which is that.
Sure.
And that was very where am I on that one? Oh, there I am. I couldn't see myself.
Quite nice.
And I wanted it to be on colored vinyl, and because that's what I loved. There was a band when I was a kid. There was a band called Ultravox. All their singles came out on this clear see-through vinyl, and I wanted that. And just for people possibly like yourself, if you wanted to get it because you thought, oh, well, it looks nice and that, there is a little download card in there for you to download it onto your phone.
Just trying to be silly.
Are you familiar with Bandcamp? Bandcamp supports artists. You go to Bandcamp and you can download songs. You can buy physical media. Bandcamp takes the cut. Once a month they have Bandcamp Friday, where
One time at
100% of the
Bandcamp.
profits go to the artist. So, we support
Don't take
artists.
me.
We support artists. Too many streaming services. People stream and the artists get fucked, literally.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like if you worked in a restaurant and you got like 50 cents an hour instead of whatever the minimum wage was.
Yeah, I mean, I used to when I first was sort of playing in the 90s. If we were on Radio 1, which was like our main, station, if our track was on Radio 1, I got £75 every single time it got paid. I believe that's now dropped to something like £2.50. I think I'm actually in one of the very few industries that the longer you're in it and the better you get at it, the less you get paid.
Probably.
It's crazy, but I mean, thankfully it's got me a house and it's got me my car and stuff like that. It's I'm not rolling in it, but I'm okay. But it is really strange. The reason I put the single out is because you have to go into a record shop or buy the physical thing. And the thing is, I'll make X amount of pounds from it, which helps me. But if Spotify had it, it's 0.5p per play.
Nina, you work for a video game company, right? Is that what you said?
Correct.
So you work for a video game company. If you work for the company and you create something within the company's office or on your own as an employee, they own all the content. Fair enough, everything. If you create something independently, you can create something and you own the copyright you get a royalty. If you create something, if you license music to a video company or a TV show or a movie, you get a licensing, you get a cut of it. But otherwise, you could create something and not own anything because you work in house. Fair enough. You get your hourly or you get a good wage depending on the company you work for. If you work for Sega, you work for Microsoft, you work for Electronic Arts, whoever it is these days. I don't even know. I mean, I'm dating myself naming those companies, but
they all still exist, so not really.
I've been, for my career has been as a photo agent. I represented commercial photographers. So we do an advertising shoot, a packaging shoot. We license then the images. So we get a cut of what they do for a period of time. And to me, that's what artists, musicians should get when their stuff. That's why more musicians than ever licensing it to TV and movies, because they can make more on movies and TV shows than they can selling records now. Right, David?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Someone just asked in the comments and said, how many copies has David sold? Well, all the distributors that I had worldwide have now sold out. But I got given by the record company, they gave me the last boxes of, I've got 50 basically, and that's what's on Bandcamp. So
I bought one of yours, dude.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much, Mazzy. That bought me a coffee.
Exactly.
Out of 1,000
coffee.
Out of 1,000 vinyl copies, there's 50 left. So 4,000.
Better get your hands on one.
So Nina, where do you hail from? What's your do you have a channel?
Yeah, it's Nina. Twitch.tv/Nina.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Drop it in the...
It's a very easy name. We just do politics and shit like that. So it's actually kind of fun to have this interesting conversation about vinyls. To relate it to video game. Sorry?
Where are you?
Where are you?
If you don't mind.
In the world, or
yeah.
Are you in America?
You're not literally asking for your address.
Let me give it. Yeah. Let me talk about, I'm from California, but I do currently live in Texas. So
Hey, I like Texas.
Taking Fedels. You sound English, so I imagine you.
I am, but I've toured America about 5 times, and we always go. It always takes about 3 days to do Texas because it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm in Austin, so you probably have been here.
Yeah, played the place called the Hole in the Wall. Do you know the Hole in the Wall?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I probably
a bunch of us are coming to Austin in May for the record show at the convention.
Yeah, we're a very big music. I'm not particularly a huge music person, but I know.
I forgot the name of that center. We're coming to that record show.
No, we did the South by Southwest.
Yes, it was a South by Southwest.
Well, this is different. This is the record show at the.
Oh right, sorry, man.
It's not a convention center, but we're coming there in May. Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Nina.
awesome.
So, was your question? Was it why, like, people have vinyl pressed, or why people collect records?
Well, I was just like, as somebody who is not, I'm not a collector per se, but I guess I think originally asked was the idea. I thought you guys were people who just like collected vinyls, and then my question was like, is that not kind of like an elitist thing where like you're kind of to get somebody, a nice vinyl press, it's going to be expensive to like experience the music. And then the question was like, is it the music that you care about, or is the collectible?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Music first.
It's music first. It's like having our own library. Like David was telling, all of a sudden Apple could shut down, Spotify could shut down, but also David and
physical
I
media is becoming incredibly important. Even like video game space, like GOG, it's called like Good Old Games. Like if you own something on Steam, I don't know how much you guys are gamers, but are you familiar with like Steam and stuff?
My son is probably your age. My son is a gamer, and he's worked on games. He's an illustrator, so he does storyboards and stuff for games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but he knows the history of it. I mean, I remember, buying games for him and him getting in.
Sure. Yeah. Like I guess like the modern games are like a lot of them. I don't know if you know this. If you go on Steam, it's like the main like PC way of like playing games. You don't technically own the game.
You rent it. It's like a rental.
Yeah, in a way, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but basically, yes, you're correct.
It's like subscribing to Netflix or something,
In a way, yeah. Like the thing is, if Steam like just stops existing, you're probably not gonna have access to that game. So there is a website called Good Old Games that is a website that does want to preserve that type of thing that you're talking about, like where you own that when you buy the game, you own like a direct copy of that. You will never lose access to, and you will just always own that game. So they do also have this level like you guys are talking about with like the preservation of like physical media being so important, because that like Spotify, like you're talking about, is like a version of Steam. Like you can have that kind of taken away, even though you paid for it, or iTunes, you even paid for it. Doesn't matter, they can take it away. So like I do very much share your love of preservation when it comes to having your media that you want to have, because you want to own it.
When people who are avid readers would buy books. I mean, you can use it on an iPad, or you can download it to Amazon Kindle, but people actually have still some book collections. It's the same thing. Why do you need 100 or 200 books in your collection when you can download it and that's it? Once you read it, you don't need it. Records are a little different, because you tend to play records repeatedly more than reading a book 2 or 3 or 5 times.
And also, I would say, sorry, William, I didn't mean to jump in there, but I'll just give you a couple of examples, and I'll shut up for a bit. But this is I grabbed this just because it's leaning up against the record player. But so, say you like the music on this album, right? And you just love the 12 tracks that are on it. Okay, this is an album I played on, which I'm very proud of. But it was very nice to get the tracks sent to me via my computer so I could have a listen to them. But the real joy was when this arrived. And this is like, it's got a beautiful trifold sleeve. So you've got this lovely artwork in there, and it's got Daphne's book that she did with it. And did all the artwork as well. It's like a photo book, a really cool photo book. And then you've got the inner sleeve, which again is Daphne doing some nice groovy pics. It's on black vinyl, and it's even got its sort of tailor-made label. Now, for me, that is so much more exciting than just having a little tiny avatar on a iTunes thing. I do play. I do play stuff through the
And
computer.
some would say this is an obsession. This is like a 50-year obsession.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but this is a separate room, and it's my library. If I want to play a punk record or I want to play a jazz record,
Those are all records?
these are all records, vinyl records.
Holy
There you
shit.
go.
You know, so but it's something. I don't think this is right for everybody, but there are people obsessed, and you know, it's something I got into because I'm that generation of physical media and stuff, and luckily I have the room for it, and it's a fun thing to play the music when I want, instead of like searching, you know, on iTunes or on Spotify for a certain thing. I'll pull up, and
I have to ask, how often do you actually partake in
listening
you
to
know, picking a record? Yeah, is
Every day.
I play records probably averages 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Really?
And the thing is, you know, it's a mood I'm in, and I love it, and it's like a library of checking something out. And I don't think it's right for everybody. It's right for me. I'm obsessed with it to this point, and I love it. And what's great is I have friends come over and they go, "What the fuck are these records?" And they love it, and they pull records and they play. We have record parties. You know, people that are younger than me, like 30 years younger than me, 20 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me. And we have a great time. And it's a kind of a good social thing because we can play different things. We're not looking on a computer and looking to pick the song.
Yeah, you know, I want to throw in kind of where I got started and why I started collecting records. It was kind of early 2000s, and I was kind of in my early 20s, late teens, and everybody was buying CDs back then, and vinyl records were very cheap. So I was getting records for like $1 or $2. And so that became a very good way for me to accumulate a lot of records. I was going to say, David and Mazzy, you probably come from the time before me where records were just lying all over the place for $1.
We're before the time of COVID. We lived before the time of
Oh, well, same here. But I mean, I'm talking about the 90s where you could get stuff for like that stuff was just like sitting everywhere and nobody wanted it.
Honestly, I'm very shallow in my things that I enjoy, and I from the moment that I saw music on the telly, I wanted records as Christmas presents and birthday presents. It started with people like Sweet and Mark Bolan and stuff, and then punk happened, and that was my thing. And then it just, I've never really, I'm not really into sport. I don't really do computer games. I love watching other people play them, but I'm shit at it. So
you know what Jason said is spot on. The thing is, I'll listen to you know, I don't really stream, but YouTube or something, listen to music. But the thing is, it tends to be a passive thing in the background while you're cooking, cleaning, whatever you're doing in the house. When you play a record, you got 15, 20 minutes aside, you're kind of forced to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like watching a movie in a theater. When you're watching Netflix at home, you'll go like, you know, smoke a joint, walk in the other, take a shit, whatever you're doing a lot of stuff. You're not always paying attention to it. And when you're streaming, it's in the background. Not always, I get, but when you put a record on, you're forced because you got to flip it after 20 minutes. You have to sit and pay attention to it. And that is a difference.
You're not married to it for the time.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's not right for everybody. I don't like diss someone who doesn't into it. So, you know.
And you can skip a track if you like, but it means you actually have to get off the sofa, go over to the thing.
But why do you? But you don't, do you, David? Hardly.
No, you just enjoy the thing as it starts thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted, just in case Nina's thinking this, and I just wanted to hand you a really good excuse for why this is really incredibly nerdy, and the effect that it can have. But there's one girlfriend I had that I can pinpoint the exact moment I knew we weren't going to last, right? And it was, I wanted to play this record, which is Generation X, King Rocker. Okay. That's Billy Idol. That's Billy Idol's first band. And this one is on red vinyl. And I pulled the copies that I'd got out because Generation X decided to do Billy on red, Mark Laff, the drummer, on yellow, guitarist on orange, and Tony James, later of Zig Zig Sputnik and all sorts of other stuff, on pink. And she was looking at me, I was genuinely choosing which color to play, right? Okay. And she
Are
said,
they're all the same though,
yeah.
right?
And she said,
Okay.
is this the same record? And I went, yeah. And she went, what? It's not a different B-side or anything. And she said, so what are you doing? And I said, well, I don't know. I haven't played the red one for a while. And she looked at me and I just thought, we're fucked.
Can I ask you kind of a question in the opposite? If somebody was really interested in music, or I'm sorry, really interested in records, like on a very technical standpoint, where they would really appreciate what you're talking about in that,
they'd understand the stupid
but they
music
don't really
buying
like
form the same
music.
thing, yeah.
No, but they don't really like the music.
Right.
Would that be like a pro or a con?
People collect records for all different reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
or
I
just
want
the
your
cover
guys' opinion on that. I guess.
But you can't. I don't think. I mean, I can't date or be with someone who doesn't like music. We don't have to like the same music, but if they totally don't have any sense of liking music, I will not have a
Well,
connection.
let's say that they're like low mid level. They're
That's
not
fine.
like
That's fine.
That's fine.
But they're really into records.
My ex likes certain songs. Like if she loved a song, I could play that one song over and over again, or that same album over and over again for a year, and she wouldn't need to hear anything else. And that was fine. And we got along well. We're family. That's fine. But I will play 1,000 different records because I want to hear a mix of that. Oh, by the way, that thing in Austin is at the Palmer Center, and that's the Palmer.
I'm not
Center in
familiar with that
Austin.
one.
Yeah, I forgot what neighborhood that is, but that's where it's the biggest record fair in the country, and it's the 1st of May.
Would you have to have an issue with somebody who had a bigger record collection than you? Like, how if you were gonna combine your record collection, would that be like a?
Well, first of all, every couple I know that really loved records, even with like my friend Amanda just moved in with her boyfriend about 8 months ago. They still keep their record collection separate.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wait, they literally keep them physically separate?
Well, there might be on the same wall, but there's definitely a division. You don't
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't intertwine your fucking record collection.
No,
you just don't.
no.
You know?
But in terms of who's,
Is that a red pill thing?
Maybe.
No, because
what happens is if and when you break up, you don't want to have to go through that. Like,
Oh, I mean, if you get married, I feel like maybe that should be part of your vows. We will
no,
intertwine.
because, even people get divorced, so you don't want to lose your record collection.
Well, the thing is, if you ever get in a fight with your significant other, you can always slip a record out, and they'll never know.
Well, I mean, sure, you could do that, but
no, I
That's
and I
illegal.
certainly don't think it doesn't matter. Like if I met a woman that had a bigger record collection than me, phenomenal.
all the power. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I'd love
It's
it.
not a jealousy thing. I don't think, at least not for us, right?
Patrick
not
Sweden
at all.
are the
We're
record
those
collection
older
children.
guys that aren't. We're
William,
not.
I feel like you're a little silent on this.
Yeah, we're not fucked up by women who are smarter or have more records or are cooler than us. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't like infringe on our masculinity or whatever.
You know, I have
Sarah,
dated
check the.
Yeah, they've been coming backstage. I've been banning.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've dated the girl with the records. You know, you kind of try and mix the record collection. I got to be honest. I like sort of having the records, and then the girl looks up to me as like, "Hey, the music guy," and it's like you can offer her that experience. So I don't like clashing, like button heads. I think that's something that I got to do with the fellas. But I'm totally down with a female record collector.
Well, there's
for
multiple types of records, right? Like different I don't know, density. I don't know if that's the right term.
Well, there's 7 inches and 12 inches. If
Yeah, would that be an issue if somebody was a 7 versus 12?
No,
No,
size
I'm
doesn't
about
matter. Size doesn't matter.
Not an issue.
It's the
I
music.
wanted
It's
to
the
do an
music.
EP called 7 Inches of Dave.
Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Hey, oh my God.
Well, 12 inches might be pushing it.
Right. It depends. And the thing is, it's nice to have someone that's into different music that turns you on to other music. They don't have to like the same music, unless they like really terrible music. But you get used to that, maybe.
But if I had a girlfriend or a woman that was a girlfriend or a woman, that's a weird. But anyway, that was like, say, a really big Swiftie fan, like a Taylor Swift thing. it's like I just that would give me joy, because I know that Taylor Swift puts out a lot of rare sort of limited editions and stuff, and I would enjoy trying to track one of them down for her.
That's a question I wanted to ask as well. Like, what do you think about modern records? Do you think that they like are they as like, you're talking about rare stuff, right? Like, obviously that's
Not
like a collectible
necessarily.
thing.
Not
But,
necessarily.
like, are they good quality, or is it the
Some
rarity, or what do you guys feel about that?
some are. It's like there are some great new records and some shit ass new records. But even like if you go 30 to 50 year
Can you give
old
me an
records,
example of a new shitty record? Just
a new shitty record.
You know, basically what Urban Outfitters puts out.
Not necessarily.
That's what I
everything
was thinking. Yeah.
No, but not you know this, William. Not everything they put out is crappy.
I
It's
was
like,
joking.
I know you are. I know, but it depends. I mean, there's great new shit. I mean, there's old shit from our generations that is crap.
Yeah,
You
Right.
know, a lot
Yeah.
of crap. You might remember Pink Floyd or the Beatles or the Stones or Led Zeppelin, which is great. But there's a lot of shit that came
But there
out.
was
then, too.
also the Barron Knights and Des O'Connor
and Lord
uh,
Screaming Lord Such, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of shit then, and there's good stuff now. There's great new acts, and there's crappy new acts, or it's subjective, you know. Anything to me that gets young people into records, and you go to these. We have these record store days twice a year, Record Store Day, where independent stores have limited editions, and people line up. Like in where you are, there's Crossroads, or it's Crossroads. What's the one in Austin, the big record store? I think it's across from Whole Foods, and I forgot the name of it. I go
Of
to
course,
Austin
it would be
a lot.
across from Whole Foods.
It's kind of kitty corner from that Whole Foods. I'm thinking of Crossroads, but it's not Crossroads. I forgot it. Anyway,
I'm not a particular music person, so.
that's fine. That's fine. But people line up for these sort of limited editions. They might be Swifties. They might be old fucks that want some kind of rare psychedelic record or something.
Heavy metalers.
Yeah, heavy metal people, folk music, there's all
Jazz.
kinds of stuff. And that's kind of the beauty of it.
On that note, just really quick, which type of music do you think sounds best?
It depends.
Or does it not really matter?
It's an opinion. I personally like rock music, and I like.
I guess I meant specifically on record.
It depends.
It's right across the board. I could literally reach from here. I could reach a Kate Bush album, but I also have Burzum, who is.
Do you think like styles of music does not change?
Okay, well, in records, some people will think jazz records sound really good because I don't want to get technical here, but it's usually 3 or 4 or 5 people recording. They're not overdubs like rock and roll, where you're putting layers of things so the music gets squashed audibly. So a jazz record may technically sound better than a rock and roll record with all these overdubs. That's not always the case. I know that's simplistic. You know, if it's like 3 instruments, there's no overdubbing, it's live. In theory, it may sound better than, 4 layers of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon or the Beatles or whatever,
And the thing that Mazzy and William will know as well is, and this is, like I said, I don't want to lose you, but in terms of actually the manufacture of the record, there are certain pressing plants that are better than others. There are also, I mean, I got, when I finished recording my single, it has to be mastered so that it's mastered for radio or vinyl or whatever it is. And there are brilliant mastering engineers, and there's people who just do it for a day job. And I got mine mastered by a guy called John Davis, because I'd been working with a band called Stereophonics, and he did all the stereophonic stuff. He did Oasis, Lana Del Rey. He's one of the top master engineers.
Sure.
So
I personally think my record sounds amazing because,
like, Naina, let me ask you this. You're into gaming. Sometimes, let's say in the physical world, forget the online, but I know they still put out some physical games, but are some games, like for the interactive, like all of a sudden, like this one's fucked up because it glitches, there's problems with it, and there's some that are just really sleek and really work really well, right? There's probably both, I assume, in gaming, right? And people bitch about this game stalling all the time, it's fucking up. You need more, more RAM.
I guess the big thing is you can't patch audio. You can't patch music, but you can patch games. But I understand what you're getting with.
But it's kind of, there's a similar analogy. It's not the same because, You know, obviously, if you have a CD, that's different than obviously a record. But there are similar things. I've had like my son, you know, it collects video games, plays a huge gamer, and there's certain things he says. Oh, you know, he tells me we talk about like I talk about records coming out, and I'm exciting him. He's exciting me. He tells me these games, like this game's coming
collector's
out.
editions. Like again, like collector's editions are huge. Like where you get like a little thing for
With
No,
records,
I get it. Yeah.
with
Like
records, they're a box set. Oh, we have the whole box set of the Ozzy Osbourne, whatever. And it's just like, do you really need that whole box set with all these different things with the gnomes and the the action?
Yeah, no, but it means something to somebody, you know.
Exactly. So you get it. It's just
absolutely. Yeah, they offer it to us first when they do it, and it's because we do a lot of I'm not gonna like be really specific at where I work, but like we do a lot of re-releases of things, and we do like these crazy box sets, and it's like super exciting for a lot of people because you know, like people like the collectibles. I get it. I totally get the collectibles. So I'm with you.
I wonder whether I don't know. My relationship with music is, I suppose, has a different element as well because I do it for a living. You know, I play live and play on studio stuff. And you said something about you know, new music or old music, and what I love about it is that I've produced quite a couple of EPs and stuff for 16-year-old female brand new artists, and I've also worked. I've just finished an album with a lady that is just at the end of her 50s, but she's, you know, and that sort of thing. And I find it just goes right across. And what I loved working with the young ones was basically I worked with this artist called Sasha Luffman, and she was 16 when we started working on her stuff, and I'd get a guitar sound for what I thought would be good, and she'd have a face on her, and I'd go, "What is it, Sasha?" And she'd say, "Sounds a bit 80s, Dave." And I'd sort of think to myself, and I'd go through
50s girls,
and I'd go through my pedals and just think, "Yeah, she's right. Actually, I've just basically chosen a sort of delay chorus sound, which is a bit Cure-like and a bit this, that, and the other." And so I said to her, I said, "Right, what do you like then?" We went through these sounds, and she chose one for the song, and it sounded so much better than what I'd chosen because she understood her type of Ariana Grande type sort of pop stuff. And I was learning. So I learned from the young people, but I also like working with established artists like, you know, Tony Visconti, who was, you know, Bowie's producer. I play with Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols. And so those older guys, I love it all. But because I've done it as a living, I guess it is just, I'm surrounded by it. It's like air to me, really, music.
Yeah, when you work in the production, you don't really think about the product necessarily.
Right.
And I can tell you, honestly,
Waterloo Records is the place in Austin you should check out if you want to check out a record store.
Oh, Waterloo.
Yeah. And also as a musician, I wish I could just swap places with people. I just wanted to let them know what it feels like to stand in front of, say, 40,000 people at night at a festival with the lights and everything and play the beginning riff of a song that everyone knows and the noise that comes back at you. Yeah, and then, you know, and we've got monitors on stage and you play that and it's just the most incredible. You almost feel like you're lifting off. What's the word? Levitating. It's almost.
So you performed live and stuff?
Yeah, just a bit.
Are we putting you to sleep, Sarah? Are we?
Oh no, I love this. This is like a total meeting of the minds, and it's much more gentle, and everybody's able to have a nice conversation. And Nina's like so intrigued by the record concept, and I love this.
But you know, it's not different that what she's into where we are today. You know, really. I mean, it's a different format, but it's you know, it's geeking out on it, and she knows about. You know, video.
Sergio, so tell me, because I am female, why this is wrong.
Why is what wrong?
I like your cats, by the way, Sergio. I like your cats.
Thank you. They're actually about to fight right now, and I'm trying to keep them from not killing each other.
I miss my cat.
Hey, real quick, if I have a moment, I want to give a quick shout out to.
I want to give. I do have a corgo.
Oh, it's a royal dog. The Queen used to have corgis.
If you don't mind, I just want to give a very warm
all right, you're
welcome.
getting caught up in my wires. All right.
Just a very warm welcome to all the vinyl community trolls in the building. That would be Tight Fancy Pants. We do have Dave the Pickup Artist, and I think we have Patrick Sweden as well. Can we get Arnie Zanzibar in the building as a special request? My favorite. And also, a quick question for Mazzy and David. What's your favorite Sex Pistols record?
Never mind the bollocks. Never mind the bollocks. But I love
trolling you guys.
Yeah. But no, honestly, mate, it's that what I was just talking about, standing in front of 40,000 people and playing a thing. There's a song called Pretty Vacant that they do, and it starts with a very, very distinctive riff. And
there's no point in asking.
It's my turn to play that riff, and the crowd go absolutely mental. And the other thing is, because it's a famous song, is once we kick into it, if you're doing a festival at night, the whole crowd, you can just see all the lights of the phones, because that's the one they're all waiting for, and it's that's amazing. So Pretty Vacant is my favorite.
David, we're not supposed to say mental in the States.
Oh, really? Oh,
you're
sorry.
Mental.
It's
crazy.
Okay.
A bad word if you're British.
No, we can't. No, we can say mental. We can't say retarded. That's the wrong word.
Right.
Hey, I want to say real quick, Tight Fancy Pants. You know you like me, man. Don't even pretend that you're not my friend. I don't buy it for 2 seconds. That's it.
William probably has the most trolls in the vinyl
people
community.
in the peanut gallery that I would totally dump ass.
I love the trolls, every single one of them. All the ones who hate me.
Yeah.
I
don't give a shit because they're always anonymous and they don't,
You know why I love the trolls is because they're always honest.
They are not, though.
They say what's on their mind.
Well, they say what's on their mind, but they're Tourette's type. They don't know what they're talking about. Actually, I will say, as I said before, Dave is not anonymous. We know who he is, but he's like totally Tourette's. He just says these bad dad jokes that aren't even funny. This guy,
I kind of liked the farting in the elevator one. Farting on the elevator is wrong on so many.
He got some good ones. They're sometimes a little perverted.
But this BBC guy has already disparaged you, Sarah, and me and stuff. But he's like whatever.
Yeah. I think you need some more mods, my girl.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. It's like if I see something I like or there's something I like about someone, I feel duty bound to tell them and let them know. If I don't like something, I've got absolutely no inclination to go and sort of, almost figuratively knock on someone's door and just announce how much I don't like it. It's I don't know. It's just I just let it go. Just let it go by.
Well, that's assuming people are reasonable people.
But I mean, it's like, okay, look, Nina, I like your eyebrows, right? I like your eyebrows, right? So I'm just telling you I like your eyebrows. But wouldn't it be weird if I went, but I don't like your hair? Why would you say that? Why would you go for that? Just say the nice thing. I do like your hair, by the way. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Thank you. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I've been on the internet long enough that it's like, I think a lot of it does, if you actually do want to know like an actual behind it, I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to the fact that Sarah's, a pretty girl, they just want to do that because she's a pretty girl, because either they get some weird like satisfaction from the fact that she's a pretty girl and they can say that to her and she's not going to react or whatever. And they're just like replacing her for somebody else that has done something bad to them in their life or whatever. I mean, like, there's a lot of things like that you can go with that. Like, again, like people aren't going to talk to you the same way they're going to talk to Sarah,
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to say, I want to fuck you in the ass or whatever, the same way that Sarah's going to get harassed with that.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I've been in bands with enough women artists to realize what they get on Instagram and the things people feel it's okay to say to them. because they're a
You
public
also,
figure.
yeah, you also have to consider the idea because they're on the internet. Like they wouldn't say this to me in person
Mm.
No, I
because
think
they
that they
know
would.
if there were any men standing around me, they definitely wouldn't say that in person. Because they know they'll get a little
I think
smackdown.
that's a mistake that they would say it to you.
Yeah, some of the guys you've had on
Maybe,
probably
but
would.
I mean, well, the
That's
cat
the reason why they're
calling-
on the internet is because they can't say it in person.
But they can do it more here and have no consequences for
They
their
can be
actions.
anonymous. They're, you know,
Mhm.
it's
They can make 1,000 troll accounts. I mean, they just
Yeah,
keep coming.
Sergio, thoughts on catcalling?
they're losers. They're losers.
I don't know what it is.
What's catcalling?
Catcalling, yes or no?
Oh,
Oh,
catcalling.
the cat call a girl? That's stupid. Yeah, of course.
Right.
You don't really need to do stuff like that. If you feel you go up to a girl, tell her she's pretty, have a good chat with her. Catcalling's pretty stupid, I think.
Yeah, I was in a band once where for the first 6 weeks I was with them, they all thought I was gay, and the reason was
because you're British, and half people in Britain are gay.
well, it's just because like after
Most
British people are gay.
98% of men in Britain are gay.
But we'd be
I
driving.
have heard that statistic.
We'd be driving through the city of wherever we just played, and they'd be sort of whistling out the window at all these girls in their sort of spray-on dresses and stuff and whatever. They'd be going, "Oh, darling, all right, hey." And I just wouldn't join in because I just think, has it ever worked? Has it ever worked? Has a bunch of lads leering out of a window of a car as it goes past? Has there
Well,
ever been
Sergio's got a pussy right now, so did you?
Oh, you're muted.
Who?
Oh, so I got 3 pussies in my room right now.
Hey,
My
let's
goodness.
go.
Sounds
2
like
cats and.
It reminds me of.
Oh, good one, Sarah.
I called my cat Chasey after the porn star.
And you never catcalled. You're gonna lie to me right now and tell me you never catcalled anybody.
I've never
You
have,
named
no.
your cat after a porn star.
I did. Just called her Chase just so I could make pussy jokes. That's all it was.
Correlation does not necessarily mean causation.
All right,
I don't know what
fair
that
enough.
means.
That's funny.
Okay, but you guys are big in the record world. Are there some weird perverts in the record world?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Richard James. Sarah, you can
I don't know
talk about that.
perverts. They're just kind of like tweakers, really, more than perverts, right?
Is it at all related to the record world, or is it just like
No,
potentially
They
related?
could be. You could move them in any kind of world, and they would be tweakers.
Oh, they'd be like a
losers.
D&D world.
Yeah, yeah.
Trolls, assholes.
Okay.
There are a
just
lot of
want-
lonely record collectors in the
It's
world.
not peculiar to
It
you
could
know.
be game. It could be gamers. It could be records. It could be movie buffs. It could be,
You want to warn the class, I guess?
yeah, car fanatics, whatever. I mean,
But you think about it, in any group of people, when there's thousands of people, you'll find someone of every, there's probably a serial killer in there and there's probably a nun. And do you know what I mean?
well, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so the odds of serial killers up here is high. So,
Oh, right.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. No, that living out there is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
when I was out in
Twin Peaks is, there's a lot of serial killers that have come.
It does seem like a very Pacific Northwest thing to do.
Yeah, because it's dark in the wintertime. It's like grunge bands and serial killers.
No, I used to drive over the Green River on my way to work, like one of my jobs out there every day.
And there's literally there was a band called Green River.
Green River, yeah.
So where did you hide the bodies?
No, it's where the
In
Green
the
River
Green
killer,
River.
Jerry Ridgway, dumped the bodies. It's pretty
And in the
crazy.
trunk of my Volkswagen.
I don't know nothing about nobody, okay?
Hey, Mazzy, you remember that? Is it Mariners game where that?
Okay, we got. I hate to do this, Sarah.
Yeah.
Can you delete this fucking Jean J 500-pound janitor shit? Like, just dump his ass.
Oh, that's over on Sergio's actually.
Well, Sergio, dump that fucker.
Oh, this is a dual stream.
How many
Yeah.
cats?
Okay, cool.
I have no power though. Like she has all the power. Like I don't have any
Oh,
power.
do
Even
I?
whenever I'm dual streaming.
That's not
with
very
her.
red pill of you.
These are the kind of
Oh, no,
people
it
that
says-
ruin
What are you,
it
a
for
feminist?
everybody.
No,
I'm
it
beta
says-
as fuck. I'm in a relationship. I'm a beta
It's-
male.
It says this comment is on a guest
Well,
destination.
you are purple
Only your
pilled,
guests
Sergio.
can.
Yeah, I
leave a
am purple
comment.
pill. Yeah, I'm not red
Do
pill.
you
I'm
notice we
purple
are
pill.
dressed unintentionally in the exact same outfit?
Hey, I could put you both back on screen, so just the two of you, and we can.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we need
Unless he
any
can
more of
talk
that.
the same way about vinyl records, I'm not that particularly interested.
Mazzy, can I ask you real quick? What part of Seattle do you live?
Do you know Columbia? I'm in South Seattle.
Okay.
So I'm in South Seattle. I'm like 12 minutes, 15 minutes from Capitol Hill, 15 minutes from downtown, 15 minutes from West Seattle, 20 minutes from the airport.
Okay. No, I used to live in
I'm a
Queen
mile
Anne.
from Lake Washington.
Doxed.
Okay. No, I used to live right near the Space Needle. I used to get all over the city.
Well,
I bet
that's
I bet if
across
I went up
town.
there, I'd be
That's
able to
across
show you
town.
all my old nooks and crannies.
Fuck you, Dave. I'm not trying to ban people, but people that say asshole things. You say asshole things, and we're used to it. You're a tweaker.
Hey,
but this guy's saying
that's
Mazzy
a topic
hates,
I don't want to think about right
this
now.
guy's saying Mazzy hates Arabs over and over again. Give me a fucking break.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, honestly, I would love to have a civil debate and get the right people. Maybe on my channel, I am trying to build a platform
Debate
where
about
we can
what,
talk
though?
about more than just
Why do we
music.
have to debate? Why can't we just chat about music?
No, you're right.
I mean, I think, okay, I'm going to say a little thing to William. William and I know. I think William did a video this morning, the vinyl community, about Black History Month, Music Month, and with Black artists. And it was great. It was great. But when he did these things about trolls and things, why go over these negative things in the vinyl community? That's not what it's about. Come here and do red pill, blue pill, black pill, white pill, whatever fucking pill you want. But talk about music over there. You don't need to kind of butt heads here.
I'll be
That's
real
my
honest
opinion.
with you.
I'm not telling you what to do. It's my opinion.
No, I know. I got a good answer for you. I mean, I'm an entertainer. I've had for many years, I've had this vision of being, okay, I'll be honest with you. One of my biggest inspirations is Rush Limbaugh. And I love,
I don't know why you would admit that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I love him. So funny.
Hey ho, way to
Mazzy, I'll
go,
tell you,
Ohio.
when I started listening to him, I was living in Seattle. I worked at this law firm.
You are not old enough to be able to say that.
I appreciate the compliment, but let me finish. So I worked at this law firm, and I was two out of 100 people who were conservative, and that's when I started listening to him. His joke, you hear a lot of negative things about him. His jokes are incredible. I miss his personality. You're not, and you think I think a guy like Alex Jones. That guy's nuts. I think Limbaugh is very practical.
I think him getting throat cancer as a pundit is pretty fucking funny. I would agree.
I mean, I don't want to. Anyway, I was just trying to say he's an inspiration to me. When I do my live streams, I listen to that Pretender song as inspiration sometimes, and then part of Mazzy, why people like me, they like my honesty, and they don't I'm not fake, and fancy pants.
So how racist are you?
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, say that again.
So how racist are you?
That was rude. I'm sorry, that was terrible.
I'm asking a question.
0% racist. All right, can I finish?
That's a lie.
Because Rush Limbaugh was.
Rush Limbaugh was a lot
I'm sorry.
percent racist, my guy.
Yeah, you never listened to the guy. Okay.
I did. I went to a Christian school for 12 years, bitch. You think I didn't listen to Rush Limbaugh?
Your argument is invalid. You went to Christian school, therefore you know about Rush Limbaugh. I mean, give me a break. I listened to the guy for 5 years in a row.
Every single second of your life is. I'm saying I have a more likelihood of being able to listen to Rush Limbaugh.
All right, Nina, can I please finish my point? And this is not to ask everybody, do you like Rush Limbaugh?
We don't
have
to argument. Go ahead.
All right. People like watching me because they don't know what to expect. I will say something that kind of makes people's hair stand up a little bit. And it's I am sort of like a mouthpiece in the vinyl community, and I'm trying to embrace it. And every single week I go on this teeter-totter, lose gain, and it's this very strange thing, but guaranteed and I don't want to brag. I mean, I got to come up with good material, but I can really draw a good, solid crowd. And I do have Rachel's ghost, Mazzy, to thank. But I mean, people would not watch me if I were boring.
Hey, I don't know if you're still here, Sarah. I'm going to head out because you got these fucking Nazi trolls doing shit. So I don't need to be here. You guys can have a conversation.
You're good,
But,
Mazzy.
it was great
Nice
talking to you
chatting
guys.
with you.
You guys up here is great.
No, it was a great getting to know you, Mazzy.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. See you later.
I'll see you soon,
Have a
Mazzy.
good one.
Oh dear.
And you know, David, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's been great. It is getting a little late here. I'm getting tired. I would like to say shout out to the vinyl community here, all the trolls. Love every single one of you. Don't get it twisted. Nothing personal. Let's have fun and entertain each other in the VC. And
I love it.
That's
But
all I gotta say.
you're tired, William. It's 5:30 in the morning here.
Well, hey, I'm not coffee drunk for once. What's up,
What's
Davey?
up, niggas? How racist are
Oh,
you?
Oh,
whoa.
what the fuck, Davey?
Yeah, that wasn't cool, Davey. I am going to
Nah,
jump
that's
off real
cool.
quick. Shout out to Dave, the pickup artist. All right. Peace, guys.
Take care, William.
All right. Peace. And shout out to Sarah and Sarah's mom. Love Sarah's mom.
All right, Sarah, I will have to leave if this person's gonna say this. So
Yeah,
I
and
guess
clean
I
that
will
mouth
also
up,
be
Davey.
leaving.
Davey, I will boot you 110%.
I mean, I literally, I'm gonna have
if
to
you
leave.
say that ever
if-
again,
if-
and
if
you will not
we're
be
gonna
allowed
do
on my
that.
channel. That's not allowed. You should know better. You should 110% know better.
Like, because I'm also streaming, obviously.
That's how we all get demonetized, and it messes with our algorithm, and it can like mess with our entire channel. So if you're gonna play nice and clean your mouth up and not use stupid shit,
David, it was a fantastic conversation. If I wasn't sure if that was your voice saying that you were heading out, but I did appreciate our conversation. So what do these newcomers want to talk about? What are your opinions on vinyl records?
Don't
I don't know. I just hopped in. Can you all hear me?
yeah.
Hey, what's
So
going on?
Neo Starling is a fellow streamer with me. We collaborate. We are very supportive of one another. He's also with William, who just jumped off, and then our LFA. He's we all come from his channel. We all kind of like that's where we all kind of collaborated and met. And so he comes here often, always supportive, especially after he hits the gym and every once in a while gets a drink. Davey Jones. Davey also hangs out over in the LFA stream every now and then. But I don't know much else about you, Davey, except for, kind of your time over there. I don't know if you hail from anywhere else.
I just shoot around everywhere, so.
Fair enough.
What?
But, I'm a quarter black, so I can say it.
Yeah, real quick. I did just get back from the gym, by the way. I'm gonna get a drink in a few, but I do want to pop in and just chat for a few minutes.
Hey.
For anyone that doesn't know me, hello, I'm Neil Starling. I have a podcast where I just talk about lessons I wish I knew when I was younger. Nothing crazy. I'm not a Uber red pillar or anything like that. I would say more like adjacent. I do share some of their points, but
Could you define what red pill is?
Okay, let me see if I can do Sergio proud here. So I would define the way I've always defined red pills 2 different ways. One would always be just general self-improvement. At least that's what I initially thought it was in the beginning. But according to the way it's colloquially referred to, it's the truth, right? It's the matrix. It's an anagram for being in the truth. Apparently we've been lied to our entire lives, and as a result, we are all finding ourselves in this space where, for one reason or another, we might have gone through some sort of trauma that led us to this point in time. Maybe you had a really bad breakup or a bad divorce, and you type in, hey, why did this happen? And suddenly a Sandman video came out, or TFM or Rolo or any of these guys, and we started looking at this content. So if you want to say it's the truth, I would say that I agree with some of the red pill, but just like any other pills, you can overdose, and I'm not really a fan of a lot of the content nowadays. But for the most part, I think it's okay.
Ontology is really the easiest thing to simplify it to one word.
Yeah, it's a really easy thing to say.
Yeah, well, that is true. But I guess just giving a little more of an expansion on it, because I wouldn't want to be accused of only knowing a word versus, I guess, giving a more general explanation of what I believe it is. I use it for self-improvement. That's what I've always gotten out of it. Just exercising, focusing on yourself, as Rolo likes to say, making yourself your own mental point of origin. That's something that I agree with. You know what I mean? Just getting your act together, not worrying about what everybody else is doing. Just getting your stuff together. Ultimately, you don't want to end up.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll let you finish.
No, it's okay. I ramble. It's all right.
Oh, wait, I want to ask you, like, do you think that generally what you're saying right there sounds very reasonable, but do you think that the big figures in the Red Bull community would say the same?
It depends. Honestly, I have
it doesn't
no
really
qualms.
depend. It would.
Well,
I'm seeing the big. Sure,
Okay.
big figure by big figure, but like if we're talking about like a general principle.
As a general principle, it really varies, because back in the day when it first originated, I believe that it did start with good intentions, but I believe that the red pill generally has figured out a way to monetize like men's pain for the most part, and because of that,
Right.
a lot of stuff gets injected into it that initially shouldn't have been there. I understand the whole process of wanting to make money. If you're making content creation your career, you do have incentive to make money. Why the heck not? If you have the voice for it, if you have the knowledge, you have a way to get your message across that resonates with people. Like, I can resonate with that. I would say current red pill nowadays, it's probably a little salacious, which it's sort of meant to be in a way, because that's the only way you really get people's attention nowadays. You don't get attention by, like me, for example, right? My content, I can give you a really good example, right? So when I first got into this space, right, when I started understanding what it was, I kind of started falling into those tactics, right? And I was getting followers from it. But once I decided that this wasn't really my cup of tea, and I just wanted to talk about, lessons I wish I knew when I was younger and give practical advice to people, I became boring. Nobody started watching me. You know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword in a way. Like, do you decide to go down that road where you can say something salacious and get a huge following, but you sold your soul in the process? Or do you go the other way? And that's why I say it depends. I think some red pill content creators have good messages, and I think some just have like dog crap advice, honestly.
So would you
not practical in the real world.
Would you consider to, like, content creators are utilizing the red pill as a vessel to kind of gain the men who have the problems, gain the sad, lonely man, so that they can capitalize on it and tap into that market. So it's like a vessel in that aspect per the content creators. But in the opposite, like without the content creators, the red pill still stands separately on its own as something that's a more positive self-improvement direction.
I think
the creators are just using it as a vessel.
I think if you take it from an Evo psych perspective and you just utilize that information, yeah, the red pill definitely has value, but it is being, I guess, transmutated into something else. It's transforming into something that it, from what it once was until what it is now. And I kind of look at it as like extreme feminism, for example. I believe feminism had good intentions, and well, it's kind of like the opposite side of the coin. At least that's how I see it. You can relate a lot of these things together. And again, not to take away from any, or I understand why feminism exists. I get the whole point behind it. You know what I mean? I'm all about equality. Why the heck not?
What's the problem with? Okay.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I'm writing it down, so I just wanted to make sure I heard what you said.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're saying Evo Psych is the opposite of feminism?
No, that's not what I said at all.
Oh, okay.
What I initially said was, when you come, I guess to simplify, red pill would be Evo Psych, right, Sergio? I guess you can agree with that.
Yeah, I would, but like feminism is the opposite of red pill. Like what they're both trying to do. Feminism really pushes
it's
for
the opposite of Evo Psych then.
Nurture or nurture instead of nature, because all Evo Psych does is show
So it's the opposite of Ego Psych, right?
I'm trying to explain to you. So just genetics is like what evolutionary psychology is constantly bringing up, like basically the nature versus nurture debate. Like whatever nature says, that's what you might become. Look at these studies that say this happens X amount of times, so this must be the truth. That's how men see things usually, because we're trying to look at the world through a lens of trying to like make sure we're not going to make mistakes over and over and over again, because we have to problem solve. Women though are very communal and very much about nurturing and blank slate, so anybody can change. Like you can be born a boy but then want to be a girl, like you because we're blank slates, right? Like we can do whatever we want. Like fuck what nature says, fuck what our genetics says. We can do whatever we want. Nurture is 100%. And basically the people who choose one too much of the other, like guys who are super red pill and they're just like, oh, the studies say this, so it must be always true because of this. They're just 100% nature. And the women that are feminists that are like, oh, well, I feel like fat women should be able to be fat and fucking everybody should be able to fucking have kids or abort their kids or whatever. You should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. They're just super about nurture. Like whatever the environment says, like that's what's going to determine what's going to happen. They're both retarded. It's something in the middle. It's like 50-50.
And well, yeah, true. But mind you, when I mention these things, I mention them in their most extreme forms. You know, not what they are, not what they're referred to initially. Again, like, I get why feminism happened. You know, women did need their equal rights. You didn't want a woman to get beaten because like she cooked the tuna casserole for her husband again, and you wanted something different. You know, if you're gonna get divorced and you know you basically gave up your life, you should have some sort of compensation, especially if you had children. These type of things are understandable to me. You get what I'm saying? And what I mean by red pill being similar to it is that red pill is essentially, you got a lot of disenfranchised men that come into this community because they went through something really bad and they sort of created a community around this, and they were trying to understand why did this happen to them, and they want to fight for their own rights. It's sort of an offshoot of like the men's right activists, you know what I mean? They were trying to say, hey, you know, these laws are unfair, why should this be the case or whatever. And mind you, I want to let you know right now, I'm not a representative of any of these communities. I'm just talking based off of my experience in these communities during the time that I've been in them. I'm just my own guy, you know what I'm saying? I spread my own message. I tell you basic stuff, you know, I don't say anything crazy. But I can call a spade, you know. If I see a red pill content creator that's like spewing a horrible message, you know, maybe these guys focus so much on self-improvement that they forgot to focus on how to communicate with the opposite sex. And as a result, they get crazy and chaotic when they talk to them, because no one talks like this in the real world. Some of the stuff that they say, if you went to a bar and you spoke to a woman the way some of these guys speak to them, they would get rejected. They would get the other guys in the bar kicking them out. They would instantly be a riffraff of society. Nobody would accept them for who they are, because society naturally polices bad behavior, whether you're a man or a woman. That's the way I've always looked at stuff like that. So some of these teachings, and again, they're salacious because that's what gets attention. If you don't say something crazy, you're not going to get the viewers. So that's why they ultimately spread this message the way they do.
Yeah, it's the algorithm's fault.
So you're saying they're all grifters, right?
I would say a good chunk of them are, yeah, of course. But I think everyone's kind of a grifter in a way. You know,
okay, but you will say that. Would you say that Fresh and Fit are grifters then? Because you're describing exactly what they do.
I'll be honest. I used to be a fan early on when they first started. I'm not really a fan anymore. I can agree that they definitely have griftish tendencies, you know, like selling a billion courses and
everything that you just described. Yes, right?
Yes, they're grifters 1,000%.
Yeah,
I agree.
so
They're 1,000% grifters.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that they're not, because that, you know, even if you want to even call another show, you have to pay money to even call in. So they definitely have that monetization of the male experience.
Do they give the most value though of any person in the manosphere? Yes, though, because they teach about credit, they teach about all types of shit, and I even think a lot of those shows fucking suck too. Like I'm pretty
cannot say they're both a grifter and giving value. Those are two those things cannot exist in the same world.
Yes, they can, because their night shows are a pure grift. Because their night shows are a pure grift to get guys to watch the show to get 20,000-30,000 viewers. But then the guys, there's only 5,000. But there's only 5,000 guys that watch the value shows where they talk about how to flip houses.
Why do you sound so defensive about them? Are you
well, can we recognize?
You just keep cutting me off. You know, you're like really bad about not respecting.
Oh my god, yeah, because I'm saying something that's disagree with you. I'm cutting you off.
You sound like a woman. It's
just
crazy.
talk over me right now.
Can we recognize the idea that whatever that show is, whether it's clickbait, whether it's grifting, whether it's self-improvement, whether it's harmful or not, people are going to get from it what they want either way.
Sergio, would you say that they engage in petty or small scale swindling?
Yes, like I think that what they do
That is literally the
fucking-
definition of a grifter.
Yes, I know.
So
Thank
you would
you.
agree that they're grifters. Okay.
I
that's
told you
fine.
that. I said 1,000% they're grifters literally 3 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
but then you like wanted to backpedal. But okay, that's fine.
No, I
That's
didn't.
fine.
I said
Maybe
that they give
misunderstood.
value
That's
during
fine,
their day
whatever.
show, but that
That's
doesn't mean that they're
fine.
not grifters.
Well, no, by
Just because they
definition,
give
they don't
value
give
during
any
a day
value,
show
but
doesn't mean
sure,
that they're
whatever.
not grifting at
Okay,
night.
Okay, fine.
All I had to do was sign up for tier 2. Cause you're my Patreon girl, and your love for me depends on how much money that I pledge to you monthly.
That was funny. That's what it
Sorry, I
defeats
had to
the
break it up.
no. I honestly think Sergio was just sort of using the broken clock is right twice a day sort of analogy. You know what I mean? Where like, yes, they are grifting, but for example, if they have like a credit guy on their show on Mondays, right? They have like their Money Mondays or whatever, and nobody watches that ever because they only like watching the late night stuff with all the ratchet like OnlyFans girls. That's the only thing that people actually want to see. And they know that, and because that happens, that's what they put their primary focus on. But it doesn't mean that if they have like, you know, a credible source on their show that's talking about, you know, the proper way to invest your money or, you know, how to like get a house or whatnot, that doesn't mean that that's not useful information. You can be an asshole and still have something useful to say. Yeah, and I think that's where Sergio was coming from with that.
Yeah, but yeah, I do think that they're a 90% piece. Like y'all gotta understand,
Well,
I'm actually more on your
then I
side
have
than
to
anything.
ask,
I
do they
hate Red
actually,
Pill.
hold on,
I
do
hate
they
the Red
actually
Pill
have
guys.
good advice?
Yeah, it's like I asked somebody that has watched it, and like I own a business, and like I've actually had
Okay,
to
what
use a
good
lot of their
advice have
things.
they
Yeah.
given to you?
Well, they talk a lot about credit. Is one of the things I will give Myron for.
Okay,
He's
what,
very
can
good
you
with
please
credit,
give me one
and he's
example
good at
of
flipping houses.
anything?
Myron's best advice
He
is
flips
definitely
houses?
about buying. Like, well, he buys properties and he invests in properties and rents them out. He sometimes flips, but he mostly rents them out.
Okay, so what have you learned from him?
He teaches all about like everything that you can imagine in those things.
Okay,
Like
you're
I
not
don't
giving me
personally,
any.
I
Just
don't
give me
personally
one
flip
thing that
houses.
you have
I don't
you
make
have
$30,000 a month
so,
like
but he
Myron
hasn't
does.
taught you anything.
Well, me personally, because I've already very experienced in credit and in business credit and all those things. Yeah, but I've watched his shows to see if he gives good advice, and his business credit advice and his regular
Okay,
credit
well,
advice
what
is good
advice to
advice.
other people would you of
He does
his
fitness.
that you would?
So Fridays or fitness Fridays.
No, no, we're
I
not talking
just
about
now
fitness,
got
we're
into
talking about
fitness. So
financials.
he does a whole fitness thing too. What?
Okay, you know what? I'll go with that. What fitness advice does he give?
I mean, he's a fitness trainer. That's what he did before he did the
Okay,
podcast. He was an
can you
online
give me
fitness trainer.
one example? Why are you so allergic to give me an example of anything he says?
I just
You can
told you that he did
we
fitness
can go
advice.
maybe talk about something else while you look something up. Like
I can give you an example actually. As far as the fitness stuff is concerned, because I like fitness.
I mean, he is a very jacked dude. I imagine he does know something.
Oh no, yeah. So he there was
fitness
this live stream that he did with Sneeko where they were at the gym and they were training what's his face, that scrawny kid, Neon I think his name is. Yeah, so there was a stream where they were training at the gym, and Myron actually gave really good advice on how to like bench press properly. He gave a good analogy about like snapping a pen when you're holding the bench, which is actually true. Yeah, like if you're holding a bench up, right? Yeah, it's like your fingers are kind of like snapping up. It's almost like you're snapping a pen. Like that's the way you should be holding the bar when you're pushing it. That was actually good advice. I'm not gonna lie. You know, and again, I'm not a fan of theirs, but it doesn't mean that they don't ever have anything good to say. You know, like again, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So
sure.
That's just an example. I can't really think of anything else at the moment, but I
haven't watched them in like a year, so like it's really hard for me to pull something out of my ass when I haven't watched their show.
Why are you defending them then?
I really don't like them. Myron hates me. Like I'm blocked from him on everything. That motherfucker hates me more than anybody.
You realize you just like completely
because I can play devil's advocate. I can play devil's advocate.
Yeah, but that makes you look like an idiot when you can't defend any of it. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it, and that's
how
not
did I not
useful
defend anything? You're just framing it
because
that
you
way, but that's
can't
not
because
true
you
at all.
can't argue against you can't support any of your points.
What
makes you kind of look stupid? If I'm being honest.
What did I not? What did I not defend?
I asked you, give me one financial advice that you've used.
I brought up credit.
That was useful.
What else do you need to hear?
The concept of credit?
Like how to maximize your credit and how to gain
how do you
credit the best
maximize the
way.
credit? How do you do that?
You want me to teach you how to get better credit? You open
you
more
told
credit
me
cards.
He taught you.
Okay, yeah, I will tell you. You open more credit cards. You ask for higher
That's what he
limits on
taught
your
you?
current
He taught you
credit
to
cards.
open more credit cards?
Yes, he does say that on his show.
That's not a good fucking idea. Like if you're
No,
just
it is a good idea. Having a
It's
higher
actually a
credit
way to
limit
do-
makes your credit level go
That's
up.
not
What are you talking
opening
about?
multiple credit
What's
cards.
your credit score?
Do you
What's
think
your
that
credit
just-
score?
I actually have perfect credit score.
What
Unironically.
is so? What's perfect?
She shouldn't have to disclose that. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, she's the one who's asking these. Like, I mean, she wants
My
to pin me
parents
with questions.
were the
Why
ones
can't
that
I
were
ask
able
her
to set it
questions?
up for me. I understand I'm privileged in this shit, but I do have perfect fucking credit score.
Okay, so did you just say your parents set it up for you?
Yeah, they can do that for you.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's all I need to know. Thank
Wait,
you.
Nina, how old are you?
What does that mean to do?
No, I'm just saying that's all I need to know. Thank you.
What does that mean?
Nothing. I'm just saying thank you.
I know how you love not explaining anything that you say. You are so fucking weak. Like, are you kidding me? You just will not explain anything that you say?
I just explained to you how to make your credit go up.
You literally didn't at all explain
Yes,
how.
I did. I said you should open more cards, or you can ask for increases.
No, your credit generally goes
on your credit
down when
limit.
you open more credit cards. Are you
No,
serious?
not if you. No, that's how it happens at first because you opened a new card, so your average credit
You are
timeline
such a
goes down, but as
mark.
time
You are
goes
such a
on, it
mark.
goes up more. No,
yes,
you don't
having
even know
more
what you're talking
credit
about.
is of course gonna make and you're paying it off is gonna make it go up. Yes, obviously.
No, it's not even about paying it off. It's just having a higher credit limit. I know you don't understand this because your parents set up your credit
How
card.
do you think you get a
but
how
that's
do you think
it
you get a
works.
higher credit limit? How do you think that you get a higher credit limit?
You ask for a request for a higher credit limit,
No,
or you open
don't.
a new
You just
card,
consistently
or
you consistently
open a
pay
new
off your
card.
shit, and then you can
And sometimes they
do the
give
thing
you
where
one.
you
Yes,
request a higher
sometimes
credit
there's
limit.
automatic.
If you're gonna get a
Sometimes they
loan,
automatically
that's
do
what
it. Yes.
you have no idea what you're talking
There's-
about. That's amazing.
I just gave you
That
two
is
different ways that
absolutely
they do it, and
amazing.
you brought up one way that they raise your credit. You're actually stupid.
That's adorable that you would say that.
I mean, you brought up one way, and I brought up two.
No, I brought up like 3 ways, and you brought up one.
No, you brought up
You
one.
said open up,
What did you
get
say?
another credit. Your entire thing is get another credit card.
I said either get another credit card
Yeah,
or ask for a
when
higher
you go to
limit.
Marshalls to buy your shoes or whatever, and they ask, do you want to get like a credit card? Do you just automatically go to every single store that you go to, and then like open up a credit card? Do you think that actually increases your credit rating?
Did I say that?
What's your credit rating?
760.
Really?
Yeah.
And how did you get?
Which is
it
not perfect.
there?
I wish I was at 800, but no, I'm not at 800 now.
Right.
What's
Did
your
it
point?
start at 750?
Of course not. Do you
Do
understand
you
how
own a
credit
house?
works? It doesn't start at 760.
Well, no shit. From what we're talking about, you're saying they got your credit up. So you're saying it started somewhere, right?
It started
So
when,
where did it
probably when I was like
start?
21. I was like at 600. Like, yeah, I was
That's when
pretty
you started
low.
listening to Byron?
No, I'm 33 years old.
So you're saying that they got your credit up, but
No, I never said that they got my credit up. I actually see
so
if you would
didn't actually
rewind the
listen to any
tape.
of their shit.
No, I never even said that,
asked you-
Nina.
I
If you
specifically
actually would
fucking asked you-
here, no,
Did
how about
you
you
just
rewind the
say
tape back? How about you rewind the
rewind?
tape back?
Jesus
What I specifically said was that I watched their shows and I'm already good with credit, so I can tell when they say
That's not
good
what you
advice
said.
because I already know what good credit advice is. That's what I specifically said. You should rewind the tape and listen again, or get some, some like some little ear. You can get that
Yeah,
earwax
you're
out.
looking
Yeah,
really good.
Q-tips.
Okay. Anyone else want
That
to
was
engage in
glorious.
It's like I've landed on a different planet. I don't know, and I've never known what my credit rating is. I own my
this? Do you have
house.
the same thing in the EU?
Well, I
Or
don't.
England?
I don't. It's never occurred to me. I don't know. I mean, I own my own house.
Brag about it.
You don't
Well,
even
no,
have
I'm-
to look at it. You're already set with your life. How nice.
But all I'm saying is that is that something to do with a credit rating? I heard someone just sort of said, "Oh,
Yeah, it's like, do you have a mortgage?
Yeah. Well, no, I've paid it off.
You don't have a mortgage, or you do? How did you buy your house? Did you get like a loan?
I paid a mortgage for 20 years and now I've paid it off.
Right. Okay. So, your credit rating would impact, in 20 years ago, I guess.
Right.
If it was 20 years ago, which it is for some of us. I'm not sure how old you are, but
I'm in my mid-50s, I'm afraid.
oh yeah, so I'm in my 30s. So yeah, basically 20 years
Lucky
ago. Well, I mean, you're the one that
Good
owns the house. Me getting a house right now would require me to get a loan, right?
Yeah.
And that would be obviously the mortgage. You know how that whole process goes. And your credit score would be the rate that you would get with your. I assume you had to pay a certain amount of, interest monthly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so credit rating impacts that. I don't know if it's the exact same way, you being in England, but basically it's the same thing. But the thing is, nowadays we're living in a renter's economy,
Right.
unfortunately, where a lot of people are not able to afford getting a house, especially in the United States. I don't know. Do you live in England?
Yeah.
How the housing market there is pretty like nuts right now, right?
It's gone. I mean, I find it amazing that I bought this house in 1998, and it's.
What did you buy it for, if you don't mind me asking?
I bought it for 46,000.
Oh my god! And what is it right now?
I know, and I had it valued last year, and it's now 180,000. So that's ridiculous.
That's still like.
But just at the time I was able to look at buying a house, the housing market was on its knees, and it's pretty.
Yeah, I live in the in Austin, and the average house, I believe, in the general Austin area is around like 400,000 or 300,000.
Wow.
And it's like, as somebody like you remember being 30, as much as you're an old bitch, but like I imagine you do. Even with inflation, like that's insane.
Oh, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, I guess it was a really good bit of luck. I just happened to have the money to be able to put down the deposit, and it was pretty simple back then, I guess. But no, I wasn't trying to sort of say, oh, I've got a house. I'm just saying I've never really. I've heard the phrase credit rating and stuff, but I just thought it meant whether you were in debt or not, or
it's like you're. Oh, sorry to bring it back. It's like you're. When you had your mortgage, it's like how much. Obviously, you would pay. You get the loan, and then you pay. You pay back your loan with
interest. Yeah.
Interest. Sorry, I was going to say investment, but it's whatever your interest rate would be is what your credit rate. So if you were poorer, you would have to pay a higher interest rate, basically, or if you, unless it's as most things are when it comes to banking, where it's like if you're richer, you get better things.
Yeah. So the people in their 20s and 30s now, are they kind of, they really need to know about their credit rating and what it is? And
it's a little important.
If you want to get a car, if you want to get a house, even your insurance is based off of your credit rating. So there's a lot of, every credit card you get, if you want to have a high credit limit, if you want to start a business and get a DBA or a Duns and Bradstreet score, all that is sometimes relying on your personal credit for you to even start your first business credit line.
Yeah, I suppose I am my own business, aren't I? Really? I mean, I'm a self-employed musician, so.
I thought you were.
Well, thanks for that, because I mean, I was just asking out of ignorance, really, because I don't,
absolutely.
That's why I've really enjoyed
everything in America is on credit now, dude. If you go to the Apple store, dude, everybody's just using credit for their phones. Like everybody's paying payments on everything. So everything that's a payment is basically based off of our credit score.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what our generation and below, like that's why you see a lot of subscribe to this monthly subscriptions, because like our I mean, I'm 36 now. So like our group and below, like we view things as a monthly payment. We're so in tune with the credit concept and like monthly payments That's why if you ever want to sell something, sell it as a monthly payment because they'll buy it. All the young ones will buy it. Like, oh, it's only $20 a month. No big deal.
And it's actually a scam because that's just us getting churned. Like the real thing you're supposed to always do is just buy something cash outright if you can. But these ways that they churn
What?
us, and it doesn't matter what you're getting churned in, you're always getting
What are you talking about? You think that you should be able to buy cash outright, like
obviously not everybody can
Netflix?
buy a house cash outright, or obviously like Netflix you can't buy cash outright, but say you can buy a whole year's worth of Netflix for cheaper. I think it's better for you to buy a whole year's worth for cheaper, because that's how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, is because you pay more whenever you pay the least price for the 1 month at a time.
How
Same
does
with
that the
insurance, even
rich
car
getting
insurance.
richer?
You can get car insurance for so cheap sometimes.
Wait,
You pay for it
how
all at
is
once.
that the rich get richer and the poor getting poorer?
Because the rich can afford to get the big packages of things for the cheapest price, just like
You
how they can
think
go to
that's the
Costco.
reason why the rich get richer and the poor
One
get
of the
poorer?
many factors that makes the rich richer
Sure.
and the poor poorer. Yes.
Sure. It's a really odd thing
It's
to
just
look into, but
another
okay.
it's just another additive because if you can,
Yeah, absolutely.
if you can pay your insurance, every 6 months versus the monthly, like you're saving yourself, maybe $50 or
Sergio,
so.
are you a
through there.
socialist?
No.
Well then.
That was what we call an atmosphere hoover. No, I'm fascinated by it. It's I just kind of I guess it's just a different time or something like that. But I've always lived in a world that if I can't afford it this month, I won't have it. I don't. The idea of having tons of credit cards. I've got a credit card and a debit card, and I'm fine. I'm okay. But I just, it's weird. It's almost like an obsession thing and people get really, really sort of rattled about it. And I don't know whether I'm too laid back. Am I missing something?
No, you're really not.
I think you're based on that. Most people shouldn't actually buy anything if they don't have the cash for it. I always say cash is king. So, for example, if you want to buy something that's like $3,000, right? And you can buy that on your card as long as you pay it off right away. You're going to build your credit like that as well. Paying your cards on time or using a lower limit, like maybe utilizing like under 30% of your card, is also a good way to build up your credit. Like when I bought my car, I bought it outright. I paid full price for it, and because otherwise I would have gotten stuck financing it. Then I would have paid an additional $9,000 as opposed to just paying it all off at once. Bundle payments. Same thing with gym memberships. You can save like $300-$400 sometimes just paying for it outright. So I always say, like, don't utilize your credit card unless you have the money to pay for it right away, because that's one of the quickest ways you can sink into debt.
Yeah.
I do like auto payments as well as doing manual payments on my credit card, but just in case like I ever like just miss something, I do like a auto payment of like $1,000 on my card, which is usually significantly above like the minimum payment. And then I'll also pay it off manually, but just like in case,
auto pay is good. Auto pay is not bad. It's not bad at all. As long as you have the money to pay for it, ultimately you're fine.
Right.
You don't want to get stuck in this cycle where like everything's auto paid and you have, maybe 16, 17 different subscriptions to something and you don't even know where your money's going. It's best to be able to keep track of it. Otherwise you're just bleeding, you're hemorrhaging money without even realizing it.
Credit should only be used as leverage. It should only be used whenever you're trying to leverage something that's going to make you more income, that's going to create cash flow. Like as long as somebody is like buying, unless it's like your house, obviously, like that's a big purchase that everybody has to do. But if you can just if you get enough cards, like David, you're saying you only have like one card, like that's fine. Like you can live a life like that. But dude, like the people that I see that credit max the hardest, they got like 30 fucking cards. There's literally people with strategies.
That's like literally fraud.
No, it's not fraud, you fucking
At some point, I think I know what you're talking about.
No, that's not fraud.
I think that you don't know anything about credit, dude.
No, trust me, I know a lot about credit. Trust me, I know a lot about credit.
The three people here that are talking about, like, you think that it's good to have 30 credit cards?
Yes. I know people with $500,000 credit limits. Do you know people with $500,000 credit limits personally?
Daphne Guinness.
Yes, I do.
Really? And
Yes,
they,
they don't
show
have
off
30
their
credit
and they
cards. They
show
have
off their black
2.
Amex to you.
It's my what?
You don't even know what a black Amex is.
But how do you
No,
keep
the black
how do you keep
Amex is what
track of all that?
dumbasses think is like rich people shit. You think I don't know what a black Amex is? It's literally something that I can't believe that people are saying unironically now. You really think that anyone that knows anything about like money has or has been from a generally wealthy family doesn't know what a black Amex is? You fucking idiot, dude. I can't even believe that you're gonna say that unironically. Are you joking?
I have no idea what a black Amex is.
It's a meme. I don't even know if it's actually a real thing, like because it's
Definitely
such a meme.
a real fucking thing.
No, it's something that poor people think that rich people have.
Is?
Jesus Christ. Anyone that's worked at a restaurant, at any restaurant ever, who's ever worked a job in their fucking life, knows what the black Amex meme is.
It's not a meme. It's very rare to see.
I love that
Extremely
for
rare to
you.
see.
I love that for you.
I've not seen it, but so I
Yeah,
apologize.
you have to spend like $250,000 a year just to be able to have one.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you. No, that means okay. What does AMX stand for?
American Express, isn't it?
Yes, American Express, the biggest credit
So
card
you're saying that
company
the
in
only
world.
people who pay $250,000 a year, it only goes with American Express?
No, I'm saying that if you want an American Express black card, you have to show that you can
So
spend.
you're implying that the
$250,000
only people, or you just said directly, the only people who spend $250,000 a year on a credit
through their
card
Amex, yes.
is
allowed to
so
have
what?
one. Yes, so
you
that means
realize
that means that the people who have that
how
are millionaires.
simplistic your thought process is.
Actually,
You're saying
uh,
AMX.
Do you know the requirements for a black Amex card? Nina?
Sorry?
You can look it up if you want, but I'm saying, do you know what the requirement is to have one of those cards?
I have no idea. No.
One of the qualifications is spending 500,000, being able to spend over $500,000 yearly.
Okay.
So that I think that's what Sergio meant by that. But
yeah.
it's
So
not a
basically,
meme.
you have to
but
be
let's
rich
be real.
to
What
have
he's
one.
talking about
What I'm
is
saying
that
is you have
it's
to
just
be
his
rich.
general sentiment about like he's like, have you ever seen an black AMX card? Like where like people can't be rich in a different bank?
I was just trolling you because you didn't understand
Oh,
something
now
about
you're just
credit
trolling
cards.
me.
Do you need to rewind and like once again get the Q-tips out?
Do you?
Sergio spent too many years
God,
at
you are
Blockbuster
so
hitting the
weak.
rewind button. Got to stop saying rewind, bro. That's 1995.
It's very VHS, isn't it?
It is very, very VHS. or cassette
VHS.
tape. I
Oh,
remember
VHS.
rewinding.
I am
the
33
tape.
years old. I am getting old, so yeah.
Making me feel my age right now.
Tell me about it,
Using
dude.
a VCR.
How old are you,
I'm 40.
Neo? 40.
Yeah.
You don't look 40 though, bro. That's
You
what
see
it's
the grays,
about.
bro? Yo soy Latino, that's why, man. We age gracefully, bro.
Yeah. I hope. Well, we'll see.
He's cheating the system.
Yeah, man. I'm using my natural DNA.
Oh, look, the cat's at the top of the cat scratch. He's at the cat scratch tower.
What's your cat's name?
That one's name is Biscuit because he likes to make biscuits.
That one? You have more than one?
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
I know
Can you
someone who's
give
got a
a-
cat called
Can you give a little
Ginger
bit of a
Biscuit.
scratch?
Give him a scratch.
Give him a scratch.
Oh, he loves it between the ears. Oh.
Oh, we love the kitty.
I had a
That's the
cat.
peacemaking.
I had a cat for 12 years, and then by the time she passed away, I was really touring heavily. I was always packing a suitcase and heading off, and I've not had one since because I'm not here long enough, and I live by myself, so there's no one to feed the cat if I was to get away. But I do miss having a cat. They're just so nice. I really love them. They're great. Not that was of any interest to anyone.
I mean, they're pretty independent.
On that note, I did move from California to Texas. My cat actually died on the airplane. So if you're gonna move with your cat, do not use United Airlines.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
They actually have an insane. If you ever look into it, they have an insane level of pet deaths. They're the highest.
Were you able to sue or get some sort of compensation for the death?
No, they didn't even give me his. I was devastated, and they cremated it without my giving, and I never even got his ashes.
Well, they just put it in with the suitcases or something. What happened?
They couldn't shoebox them and give them to you or something?
I had to pay $400 for it too. Didn't even refund me that.
That's horrible.
So yeah, I will always say, never send your pet through United ever.
No, my dog's driving with me everywhere I go. Screw that.
Yeah, like I have a really. I went to go visit our family in Florida, and like we have dogs now, and like I was like, we cannot fly. Like we had to drive all the way there.
He's traumatized.
Go on the QE2 or something on a cruise ship.
So again, like if anyone's ever gonna fly with pets, do not do it with United. But I do have to go to bed, so it's been fantastic talking to you. Even my nemesis Sergio.
Well, I'm with you as well. It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to have to function today somehow, so I'm going to try and sleep between now and 11 in the morning.
It's been a pleasure. Have
Nice
a
meeting y'all.
fantastic
Thank
night,
you,
and I
Nina,
hope to
for
talk to
popping
you.
on, and you're always welcome to stop by, and I
Thank you.
appreciate it. We always like new people.
Well,
So
thanks
thank
for
you.
explaining things as well. You know, Sergio and Nina and yeah, Neo. I've watched you a few times when you're on here. You always got something cool to say. You know, and
thanks, man.
I wish I had a voice like yours as well. Jeez,
I can sing. I sing too, right?
Oh, good man. Good.
I'm not a musician, but I'm a very adept karaoke singer.
Yeah. Oh,
that's karaoke night.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow's karaoke night. I'm gonna do some Elvis, do some Frank Sinatra. Get it going on, man. It's gonna be dope.
I sing on demos when I'm doing songs that someone else is going to sing, because you have to do a vocal just to show them how it goes. Which reminds me, actually, Sarah, I don't know how we can have a chat like the two of us now, but I had a fun idea for a collab, having watched your parody thing.
Oh yeah, the Taylor Swift or
Yeah, so I've got an idea that might be quite fun, so I'll have to talk to you about that. But yeah, it's phenomenal, and like I say, I'm trying to learn about this new stuff and what have you. But somehow I've managed to survive all these years without knowing any of this shit. So it's just a fascinating thing. But I really appreciate it. You know, it's coming into something that's completely outside my remit, as it were. So thank you, Sarah. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure penetrating your inner circle.
Absolutely, David. And you know, I definitely enjoy having you on. It's a nice change up from all of the craziness that we go through, and it's just always a pleasure. So you're always welcome for sure.
You're always welcome to my dumb rock and roll music person thing. My lack of knowledge about the outside world. But yeah, thank you very much, and all the best to you. Enjoy sleeping when you do. Like I say, 6:10 in the morning. I'll take my leave. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one probably.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself, brother.
Or I'll see you at Rachel's Ghost or something like that, or one of those things. But yeah, take care, everybody.
You too.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye, David.
If y'all wonder why I keep combing my beard, it's just I just got out of the shower when I came back from the gym, so I'm combing it so it could dry up. So when I go out, it won't be all frizzy and nasty.
Frizzy.
Yeah, in case y'all wondering,
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and sum it all up here in a minute. Davey, are you still there, bro?
I'm here.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and let you, if you have any last and final thoughts that are within terms of service and not going to get anybody canceled or destroyed on here. If you have your final thoughts and want to kick them out.
No, nothing really. Just it was an interesting stream. Listen to everyone, the cackling people, just bitching back and forth. That was entertaining.
Always is. Always is. Neo, your final thoughts for the evening.
Yeah, I really wish I got on here sooner, but unfortunately, because I stopped work at 9, I have to, get my workout in. Otherwise, I'll fall apart. That is the curse of being an endomorph. But yeah, no, I had fun. I was listening to your stream while I was at the gym. Good talks with everybody. And to Tomato Paste, is that your mom?
Mm-hmm.
She said Neo needs to come to Maryland and karaoke with Sarah. Yo, you never know, that might just happen.
Yeah,
I
you're
love a
only a
good
couple hours
karaoke
away.
night. I love a good karaoke night. Sergio, I've seen some of your content before. It's nice meeting you, bro. You know, maybe we'll all get to have some more talks later down the line. I am interested in this content, although it is a little chaotic for me sometimes. So I try not to like battle people on here. It's not really my deal. But I will defend myself if I'm attacked. So, it's nice talking to all of you, Davey, Sarah.
Good seeing you.
Y'all stay awesome. All right, take care.
Thank you, Sergio. Your final thoughts of the evening.
It was fun. Thank you for inviting me, Sarah. I would love to, collab whenever you want on here. I'm trying to, ever since I built this, thing at my house, I'm trying to do as much stream as I can. Neo, I would love to do a stream with you if you ever want, bro.
For sure.
I'm just trying to, you know how it is whenever you're doing this, you need to just line up content. I can't just text a million girls and do panel shows like I used to. I got to text all y'all other creators and start, doing one-on-ones all the time. So yeah, please hit me up anytime you want to do this one more, Sarah. Or if you know anybody who wants to debate, even if they're a red pillar, if they're not a red pillar, I will literally debate anything too. Religion. Like, I have a pretty strong stance on damn near anything that you can think about. So, like, I will debate anybody on anything if you find someone. And I'm not even good at debate. I'm just going to come in here and troll. Like, I'm just going to have fun.
Fair enough. And I'm always happy to mod, as I've said before. I'm working on the moderator portion, and the more practice makes perfect. So as long as it's not something like that's a really serious debate like the other day, apparently, then I'm happy to take it on and work my way up from there. And I'll host, or we could duel, or you host, however it works. I'm happy to do that. The only thing that makes the difference is not having that mute button. But thank you, everybody, for coming in. What started as one topic of a debate to the debate drama turned into talking about records. We had the vinyl community in here. We had Nina, who she hasn't been on this channel before, but I know that she's connected to Ashley. So it's wonderful to see all of this, the LFA community popping in as well. Simp Troopers, mount up. But it's so wonderful to just see everybody to be able to come together on my channel. This is exactly what I aimed for. This is what I wanted, is a nice little variety pack filled in with some trouble, some drama, but not too over the top, just enough to make it fun and enjoyable. So till next Thursday, folks, I bid you all adieu. I hope you all go to bed and fuck off.
This video was somewhat informative. That's all I got for today. Until next time, see ya.